in that particular case. But hey, what is going on, everybody, on my end? So I just went live on my channel. We are simulcasting. This is the first Liquored Up live simulcasting, and have the one, the only OJ from PlayerEssence and RenownedZ3ro if he decides to get his ass in here. So what's going on, everybody? I don't necessarily have a name for him, but they can. But what do you guys want to be called? We'll name you. We'll name you tonight, man. The Flippers. I like it. The Flip fan is really good too. So, so I guess we'll start out while we wait for RenownedZ3ro to inevitably show up. I am sure. We will just ask everybody. So OJ, what the heck are you drinking tonight? Got to work out in. Always good. Dyed Orange Sunkissed is good stuff. Orange soda is always good. For my purposes, I am drinking some aged Tennessee whiskey. It's a James Ownby's. And by the way, if they do like the Tennessee Moonshine Company, it's like their upper brand, and it's the Ownby's aged 8 years Tennessee Straight Bourbon Whiskey Limited Edition. They say it's bourbon whiskey, but they're full of crap. Well, they're trying. They're trying too hard. But when they call it bourbon, no, it's not. All bourbon. So to give everybody a little bit of a crash course on whiskey, all bourbon. Oh, can't hear OJ. Oh, well, yeah. You know what? It would help if I would add OJ, wouldn't it? Give me 1 second, chat. Again, this is me being technically crap. Let's see here. They haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, you're putting on a show here, and I'm being an idiot. Let's see. So let's see. That's my fault. Share screen. And we are going to share the Discord screen. And now you guys can hear OJ. So that is my apology. So that's once again me being kind of a dumbass. That happens.
No,
Drinking
you're good,
started
man.
early, guys. So anyway, I was just OJ just asking him what he's drinking. He said he drank some. He had a workout and he left his water at home, but he was drinking some diet orange Sunkist, which is his favorite drink.
Yes.
So a little bit of OJ deep lore there that y'all missed
Yeah.
out on, but we're happy enough to tell you. Can you all hear OJ now? I just want to make sure you can. And hopefully you'll be able to hear this other gentleman too, which he should have been added to. That's all right, Zoo. You just need some more GameCube in your life. Get the fuck
Oh, Zoo,
get
Zoo,
out of
hold
here
up,
with
bro.
that.
Somebody in the chat said you sound like Bear Hugger, bro. Like, what's going on?
Sound like what?
Bear Hugger. You know Bear Hugger?
Bear Hugger? No, who's Bear Hugger?
Yeah, Bear from Punch Out.
Oh, do it sound like Bear? Is it the Canadian guy?
Yeah.
Nah, they got me mistaken for Rush Dog, one of my regulars. Nah, he's the Canadian
I don't
guy.
remember how Bear Hugger sounds from Punch Out. That's the funny thing. Like, I don't remember how he sounds.
I've been called worse.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Bear Hugger's dope, though. I like Bear Hugger.
Yeah, Bear Hugger's good. As long as I'm not that dude that like spits in your eye, like that fucker.
No, like Bear Hugger's dope because like he, I think doesn't he like drink like a ton of maple syrup at some point? Like I think he does.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, he's the Canadian representation.
Yeah,
Canadian. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's not chugging that maple syrup.
The Punch Out was the stereotypes in Punch Out were hilarious.
Punch Out was an awesome series in general. I love Punch Out. You want to talk about a series they couldn't make today? It's Punch Out, man.
Oh man, they need to make another one. I hope they make another one.
Hey, I think Renowned is here. Renowned, you hear, man?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? So, alrighty. So I think we are ready. I guess we'll start by they know what we're drinking, but Renowned, what the heck are you drinking, my man?
I don't drink, so
don't drink straight edger, so you're in good company. OJ also drinks water and diet orange Sunkiss, so the cheese
Diet
stands
Orange
alone
Sunkiss.
in drinking some good old aged Tennessee whiskey. So all right, so now that everybody's here, down to brass tacks. A couple weeks back, we all had a little bit of a disagreement. And just want to kind of air the air here, and I guess we'll start. Who wants to start? Something about Dragon Quest and sales, and
I'll start.
I sort of remember.
Can I start? My hand's up. You guys can't see my hand. My hand's up.
Okay, all right.
So essentially, the only reason why I want to start is because it started with my one tweet that I had. I put up a tweet, and I'm gonna read it verbatim. It says, "GriftTubers real quiet about Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake right now. I wonder why." That's all I put. I didn't name any names. I didn't say anybody. I just said they're real quiet. It was really just more of a playful, silly joke. It wasn't really anything because I didn't see anybody say anything about the sales numbers.
Well, I saw it. I laughed.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't meant to be anything more than that. But of course, Twitter, people take Twitter like crazy. So then that's when Renowned came in, and I guess you can say what you say, but the main thing that I'm disputing from what you said here, Renowned, is you said 2 million shipped, not sold. And people are calling out the design of Akira Toriyama and male female. So basically, you're like defending maybe who you think I'm coming after. But I want to ask you just one question. Okay, I just want to ask you one question, Renowned.
Sure.
Did you know that I actually also made a video saying that I don't like the changes from the whole design thing? Did you know that I made one too?
I don't specifically subscribe to you. I actually told Flipping this. I really only know you from Spawncast. So
okay. So just to let you know, I wasn't calling out.
You are specifically JRPG guy. I know that.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I never said that people who, say stuff like that, like call out like the whole thing, like with the male, female, blah, 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 whatever is grifting. I never said that. And I made a video specifically saying I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So I never said that people who say that are grifting. So that's like the first exception that I took with what you did is like, you don't even know what I even said about that. And I never mentioned any names. So you took the time to quote tweet me and try to misappropriate what I was thinking when I made a video saying the same thing. Like, hey, I don't like this, I don't like the whole censorship thing or whatever the case is. And I never said that people who point that out are grifting. So yeah, I
don't think I ever said that you actually said that. But I did make a video as well about the censorship of Akira Toriyama's design, as well as the body type from A and B of Dragon Quest 2D HD. My problem with most people is the fact that I can call that out and people will sit there and say, "Oh, well, you're not a Dragon Quest fan. You haven't posted anything about Dragon Quest." And I'm just sitting here like, I can still have an opinion on something I disagree with because I am typically anti-censorship no matter what game series or what game it is. I'm typically all in on the whole anti-censorship no matter what kind of censorship it is. Because I even called out the fact that the Square Enix did the change in Final Fantasy VII Remake where they censored the flashback of Tifa 4 years after the game released. I didn't like that either. So
yeah, but
I don't know if you had the same thoughts about that, but
yeah, but what does that have to do with my post about me saying grifters are real quiet?
Well, so here's what's ironic. You guys are actually both of you guys are actually probably more in sync with each other than you are on me because I actually thought the thing with Dragon Quest was really stupid. We're talking we're talking about what, man? We're talking about 5 centimeters of some thigh. Is that what we're talking about here?
It was what I called out was the fact that the developers were lamenting about a number of different things. And I said, okay, well, I don't like the fact that it went far beyond just that, but that's what I made a video on talking about. Like I said, what I thought was weird, and this is the Twitter, type of thing is like when I just say GriftTubers are real quiet and then people make assumptions that I was talking about the body type A, B, or whatever. I wasn't even talking about that. I was simply talking about people who talk about things, who don't actually play the games, that they grift online. They don't care about Dragon Quest. They don't talk about Dragon Quest. They don't like Dragon Quest, but their thing is to be a pundit and to grift online to make money off. Wait, hold up. To make money off of people, okay? And they don't care about Dragon Quest at all. And they say, go woke, go broke. They do all this stuff. And then when a game actually does do well, they have nothing to say. They're silent. But if a game sells bad, all of a sudden it's go woke, go broke. Oh, see, I told you so. Nobody bought it. But if a game does well, then it's, oh, that doesn't fit my narrative. That doesn't fit what I want.
I definitely hear. So
now, I'm not going to talk about the sales. I'm not going to talk about any of that because it doesn't fit my narrative, and that's who I was calling out. Well, I was calling out those people.
Yeah, the same people. Right, the same people that if it does well enough, they'll even appropriate it and they'll say, "Hey, this game was never woke at all." Like, never mind that there's a game where you're clapping ass cheeks with a bear. Like, no, that's not woke. That's our game. That's our boys right there. Now, all of a sudden,
there are most people that they will call out the censorship and they actually say if they were wrong that they would admit they're actually wrong and they would tell you about that type of stuff. Now specifically, there are people like I know of a content creator by the name of Vara Dark. Specifically, like she definitely was one of those people who called out said censorship, and she actually played Dragon Quest 2D HD because it seems to be this thing where if somebody calls out something like that and they'll say, well, what is it? If you don't like it, don't buy it. And then there are people that are like, well, you should give the game a chance, then make an opinion. It's like, well, you can't make an opinion about it before, and then if you buy the game, you're a shill or drifting on it instead of, and they're telling you, oh, well, if you don't, you should test it out. And there are people that actually test it out and they give their opinion. And after saying, well, this is, I don't like this thing in this game, or they give their opinion. What I'm simply saying is someone giving their opinion is not really a grift. If giving opinion before something comes out, they wait for it to come out. They see, okay, well, maybe I was wrong here. Maybe I was wrong there. And they're like, okay, well, this wasn't as terrible. Because I'm sure there are people in your community that kind of agree with that whole thing about, oh, if they're calling out this and that, and then when they'll actually play it and go, well, this thing changes. I know it's just kind of an off-topic thing, but I know that things that definitely something I also hate is the fact that, PlayStation will put their games on PC and then they'll block countries. Like they'll say you need a PSN login, and people call it out.
You're getting off topic. This is.
Right, go ahead.
You get it. You're all over the place, brother. Like I see what you're trying to say, but I think the biggest issue, man, is that you let a lot of people online affect how you think about things. The fact that you just went all the way to PSN right now and all that, it tells me that you are online a lot, letting people say this and that, especially if you're listening to Vera Dark, especially if you're listening to her. Now, if she played the game and whatever, that's fine. I didn't call her out specifically or anything, but what I'm saying is that there are a lot of people which don't like Dragon Quest, that don't know anything about Dragon Quest, that simply had a lot to say beforehand. And then now at this point, they've got nothing to say. They don't play it. They're just doing it because they can make money on it offline. That is the grifting part. When you just say it just because, hey, look, I've built up this audience that doesn't play, that doesn't care about X, Y, and Z, but they care about this. And I can spin it one way that fits with their ideology or political or whatever, and and it's moved off of actually playing games. Good for her if she played it, but it's moved off of actually playing games and saying, hey, this is good or bad, to this is this one thing, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to start a movement online and all that. And gamers didn't do that back then. Even if we didn't like something, you would say, hey, this is whatever, but I'm going to try the game out, or let's wait and see what happens. You've got these people that are, before anything even starts, they're going ballistic online. And that's who I called out, because once again, they're saying stuff like go woke, go broke. And then when it doesn't go broke, they make excuses like you. This is what you did over and over, quote tweeting me a million times.
I've never made an excuse, actually.
No, quote tweet. No, hold up.
I've just told you what shipped means versus sold. I said, see, when it comes to something like Square Enix, because what they've done, even with Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they were adamant in telling you how many copies they sold. So now with Dragon Quest, because it's not doing as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth, as it'll say, Remake in 3 years made 7 million sold. It doesn't say 7 million shipped.
No.
So why is it that now?
I'm out.
Why is it now?
Incorrect. You're incorrect. They always use ship numbers. When you look at Final Fantasy 16, when you look at the first sales numbers overall, Final Fantasy 15. They always say shipped. What you're talking about is sold through. You don't know that term because you're not knowledgeable on any of this.
It
Sold
says it right
through.
here.
No,
it says
listen,
right here.
listen,
It says
buddy,
right here, base.
buddy,
It says
listen,
Final Fantasy
Renowned,
remake.
listen. They said sales, okay? When the manufacturer, publisher, Square Enix, when they ship it to the store buys it from them. On their books, it is sold.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the Famitsu sales, we already know that to actual customers, it sold over 1 million units. We know that. So when they put out a press release saying, hey, it's sold more than 2 million, they mean sold, shipped, digitally downloaded.
So
you adjusted. At first, you said shipped, and then you adjusted to downloaded plus shipped. I know what shipped versus sold through means.
Hold on,
but
guys.
when you're talking about sales, hold up. When you're talking about sales, that is when the publisher says, hey, we have sold that to the retailer. It is out. It's on our books. Sold through is something that they might get a little bit later down the line. So you might hear about it down the line, but early, they're just going to talk about what they've sold in stores, what they've actually shipped to the retailers, and what they've digitally downloaded. That's what the sales are. That's why you see sells more. That's why you see shipped, downloaded. It's all combined. And once again, we know that the game is selling in stores because we have Famitsu to tell us that it's sold over 1 million copies, not shipped into them, but actually sold to customers.
So this is where I want to
Correct.
interject real quick, guys.
What
Correct.
I'm saying is exactly what this says here. As a press release that was announced on September 16, 2023, it literally says they've sold over 7 million copies. So what is the difference here? Where it
Was that
says
the first
sold
press
versus
release?
shipped?
Was that the first press release?
That was
that game?
This was September 16th, 2023. It literally
Okay,
says
when did that game come out?
2020.
So go look up when they said in 2020, then come back. That's what I want you to do.
Here's the thing, guys. We are in semantic hell right now, and I want to avoid this.
No, we're not in semantic hell because this guy is trying to talk. Hold up, this guy's trying to talk about sales numbers like he knows something.
I know, but I'm gonna try.
He just got on the internet talking about sales right now, and he's talking about 3 years later about because it's been 3 years. They have a better grasp.
I'm gonna try.
They have a better grasp of what's been sold.
I get it.
They've had a hold up, real quick. Let me just explain this. And I promise I'll let you talk, Flipping Switch. My bad. They have a better grasp of what's been sold 3 years after the game has came out, so they can say, "Oh yeah, we've sold this many." If you get a press release within the first month or the first couple of weeks or the first few days, it's always going to be, "Hey, we've shipped this many. It sells this many," and it's going to be the ship numbers plus the numbers sold in stores, the first day sales plus the downloaded digitally. That's how it's always going to be.
And there's some
Square Enix
companies.
game.
In fact, most companies will never tell you the sold through. It's very rare that you actually hear the sold through. And here's
similar.
And that's why I want to get, and that's what I want to get into, guys. Is why I feel like we're kind of in a semantic hell right now. I want to get us out. I'm going to try a different method in order to do that. So, Renowned, you say shipped, okay, and you say shipped to or ship. When they ship those,
that's factually incorrect that it's 2 million shipped. Though
I get it.
That's factually incorrect.
I'm gonna assume this. I
just want to put that out there that it's factually incorrect that it's 2 million shipped.
Okay,
it's factually incorrect.
Correct.
Okay, just want to put that
but
out
I want to assume his position real quick. So let's go from the fact that it's shipped. Let's assume it's 2 million shipped. Where do those ship to? Do those ship into the Scythian abyss, never to be seen again, or where are those going?
It's shipped in bulk to retailers all around the country. Retailers
who did what? I guess is my question. Did they just get that for free, or
they get it at a huge discount due to it being in bulk, and then they raise the price based on the current market in the retail store, which is why they can buy it at a very cheap price and then sell it to you for $60 or $70 in the store. Which
I would not say I would not say very cheap. And keep in mind, now you're in my forte, my man, because I do retail, right? That's one of the things that I do at an executive level.
That's incorrect. MSRP. What does MSRP stand for? That's manufacturer suggested retail price. Who is the manufacturer? That is Nintendo. That is Square Enix. They're the ones who make so that is what they suggest the retail price is. Manufacturers,
in order to make their profit, yes.
Yeah, and retailers can do whatever they want. They can charge at a different price, but they usually go with manufacturer suggested retail price, which is what the company tells them to put the price at, so they can actually make
the
profit.
point.
It's a very slim profit.
Yeah, the point being is it's not going to be a massive.
Just a little bit about this because of a food service place I used to work at. Because the way it worked there was they bought obviously it's not retail, but it's food service.
Correct.
Where they would it's McDonald's. They would buy what they would do is they would buy a box of meat. It would be 500 patties in a box. They buy it for 69 cents and sell to you for $1. Kind of like that.
Yeah, 69 cents. And that for food service, that's about right. Yeah, margins are anywhere from 8 to 10% typically in food service. In hard retail, margins are anywhere from 2 to 7%. 7% at the very top. So, so yeah, we're talking a difference, but yeah, but the point being is, and I think there's a real argument to be made from your perspective here in terms of if we're talking about just hard sales numbers, shipped is you got to understand to a company that gets to spend something to their investors, shipped, even if it's just shipped is just as good as sold. We got your money, bro. It's just as good as sold. Now, from a cultural impact, are we playing Dragon Quest? Are we talking about Dragon Quest? Are we debating Dragon Quest? Is Dragon Quest in the public conversation? That's where the second aspect gets to, which is where is Dragon Quest in the public convo, right? And that's where the actual sold to customers comes in. I make that point all the time with Mario, with things like 3D Zelda, with things like Metroid, etc., which is, okay, it's one thing for the games to sell, but how long are they in the public conversation, and what is the cultural impact of these games? Two very different conversations, both well worth having. So if we're talking the cultural impact, I get where you're coming from. But if we're talking just sales, and what OJ is trying to say is, one, yeah, it's not factually correct because there's also digital downloads, there's other things. Those are right directly into the customer hands. But shipped is, in terms of the investors and what they're going to see when they go to crow to the investors, shipped to retailers is just as gold as sold to customers. Like that's all they want to hear is, hey, did you sell the units? And they can say, yes, we sold the units.
I also want to point out one quick thing. They also have not given us the sales. You said that they've given us the sales numbers for Rebirth. They have not given us the sales numbers for Rebirth. So just want to put that out there as well. We've gotten the sales number.
It's 7 million. What is it? They had a huge. What was it? There was a flop with Rebirth. Like they had a very low sales expectation of Rebirth.
I'm saying that they haven't given us the sales numbers. You said that they have not given us the sales numbers for Rebirth.
I said remake and integrate.
Yeah, remake and integrate. Those are old, so those did well. Those are on big install base, but they have not given us the sales numbers. I mean, you said that they were trying to fluff. From what I recall in your tweet here, you said that they fluffed their numbers.
So I stated that with sales for Dragon Quest, because it's 2 million shipped and digital downloads, of course. It's similar
and sold to customers as well, but
sure. You showed me the 950K. I saw that.
Well, and I'm not going to contest. So I'm not going to contest fluffy numbers because they're a corporation. They all do that.
Right.
I don't think 2 million. I don't think 2 million is fluffing. Like for Dragon.
I get it. Yeah.
And here's the reason why I don't think it's fluffing. I don't think it's fluffing because we have Famitsu. Famitsu has told us they've sold 950,000 physical units. The game is #1 in Japan in terms of digital sales. We can see that Amazon, you can go on different retailers. You can see the sellouts in the stores that they're shipping it to, like the stores across Japan. So 2 million isn't some type of crazy number for a historically great selling franchise. So I don't see where fluff is. You need evidence to say that there's fluff with that.
Why I say it's fluff because the previous Dragon Quest sold 4 million more than this one. And
in the first 3 weeks,
people would say that Dragon Quest 3 is probably one of the better ones. People typically when I hear the conversation, Dragon Quest 11. So when I hear the conversation, when I ask people what are the best Dragon Quest, they'll typically name 3, 8, and 11S for some.
Oh, you broke my heart, Renowned. You forgot 5. Forgot Hand of the Heavenly Bride.
Well, I'm talking about like as a general consensus.
I get it, but it still breaks my heart not to hear it.
The last Dragon Quest was Dragon Quest
11.
It was the Dark Prince, if I recall. That was the last Dragon Quest game that sold 1 million in about about a month or something like that. I know it sold like about 1 million.
Right, but I'm using the numbered ones, not like the spin-offs or knockoffs like Quest Builders and all that stuff.
So how much did Dragon Quest 11? That's the main. That's not a remake.
11S.
Yeah,
yes,
11S
was over 6.5 million
in the first 3 weeks.
Probably overall.
Yeah, well, that game's been out for a very long time. What's the comparison for here? I don't get the comparison.
The comparison is why wouldn't Dragon Quest 3 remake, since it's one of the more renowned games in the series? Why is that not as close in comparison?
I mean,
what was the sales for the first 3 weeks of Dragon Quest 11S?
I don't have
the
that.
sales numbers.
I don't have the sales numbers for
that's why I'm saying I don't understand this guy's comparison. He's comparing a game that's been out since 2018, and he's comparing the overall sales to a game that came out November 14th.
I don't have the sales for Dragon Quest 11's first few weeks, but I have what I think is a better comparison is a guy that crunches data, and that's the initial, what is called the initial period, which I think is like the first 1 to 3 months is typically what in video games, the initial opening period. Dragon Quest 3 in 1988, I have, right? I think that's a better comparison. So, with population increase accounted for, and that's only, now to be fair, that's only one of many macroeconomic trends. You've also got, markets, closed markets. So, for example, the Soviet Union, large blocks of China didn't have access to Dragon Quest 3. This was really a Japan-only release, so there's that aspect. But Dragon Quest, in its opening period, in 1988 did 1.2 million. Now, adjusted for population, you had another 588,000 for population growth, and you're at 1.588 million in its opening period. So when you add in those other macroeconomic factors and subtract those other macroeconomic factors that come into play, for example, it was a booming fucking economy for Japan back then. You come to the conclusion that it's going to probably be either a little over 2 million or a little under 2 million if you do the full macroeconomic analysis. So this 2D HD remake game is basically tracking one for one with with a cultural phenomenon so powerful that it led to Japan passing laws that you can't do Dragon Quest unless it's a weekend. So I don't know. I think it's doing pretty good based on that comparison. But
I'm looking at it as this game's been re-released a number of times.
Yeah.
Like usually the more times that you re-release something, I mean, yes, they got the new graphics, but it's Dragon Quest 3. We've had releases on Nintendo Switch. We've had it on Game Boy. We've had it on various different platforms in terms of things. But yes, they've got the new HD 2D graphics for it. So I'm looking at Dragon Quest 11S, or Dragon Quest 11. If you're looking at Dragon Quest 11S, that was on the Switch. That definitely did not do 2 million in 3 weeks. The original Dragon Quest 11, that was on PlayStation 4 and that was on Nintendo 3DS, and that did pretty good in the first week. I know that sold really well, but that's a mainline number game.
First 2 days in Japan. That's the original Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that is a mainline numbered new big game. That is not a remake or a re-release. Usually remakes and re-releases don't do as well as the biggest mainline like new games in the series. Usually, yeah, in general, they usually don't do as well. So I don't know why you would compare it to that. I mean, it's not a brand new game. It's been re-released. It's an HD 2D now, but
there you go.
I mean,
so this game sold over 2 million physical, whereas this is only 950K according to your stats. So why?
No, it's
it's in Japan. It's 900.
This is Japan. This is Japan, right?
Yeah, and
2
so
million,
what?
2 million physical copies in Japan.
No, I said that it sold about 950K that we can track right now in Japan.
Right now, I'm comparing it to Dragon Quest 11 sales, which you told me to find the sales numbers for. It says on the first 2 days of sale in Japan, over 2 million physical copies.
Okay.
Specifically, Nintendo 3DS, 1.13 million, PS4, 0.95 million.
Yeah, you're still comparing Dragon Quest 11, and I just explained to you that remakes don't do as well as big brand new series like when it comes like the brand new series. So I don't understand this comparison. And even if you do want to compare it, it is somewhat, actually no, because it's the first number of days, but that's not a great comparison. And once again, it's a big brand new game versus a remake that's already been re-released a number of times. I don't understand this comparison. It makes no sense.
You asked me why I said it was a fluff.
Sure.
That doesn't prove that it's a fluff, brother. That doesn't prove that it's a fluff. You're just making up stuff. That doesn't prove that it's a fluff.
This is sold, which is actual sales, whereas shipped is again from the manufacturer to a retailer. It's no different from comic books where they track shipped numbers and not actual sales. It's the same thing.
What did you use to find those sales? What did you use? You used Famitsu, right?
No. Let's see. I can probably find it on Famitsu. Let's see.
I mean, I just can't believe we're back to ship versus sold. I thought we were past this.
I mean, listen,
Famitsu, yes. Famitsu. Yes.
Okay, so you use Famitsu to get those sales, right? You use Famitsu to get the sales. Once again, there's no evidence. There's Famitsu sales that you can look for when it comes to Dragon Quest. We can see the sales numbers on there. You're comparing a big brand new release to a re-release. Big brand new releases usually do better than re-releases. So what? Where is the fluff?
A re-release of one of the most popular games in the franchise that people have been waiting a while to be remade.
And it's been re-released multiple times.
So much so that they made a collection, and they're doing remakes for 1 and 2 as well.
And what's your point?
You asked me why I think it's a fluff, and I just told you.
You provided nothing that says that it's a fluff.
They will come out and tell you it's 2 million sold for Dragon Quest. So why won't they just tell you it's 2 million sold for the 2D HD remake? They'll just use shipped because they can't tell you how many.
Because we haven't had an investor Q&A or quarterly yet.
No. Here's the problem. What you're doing is that you're talking about the Famitsu sales and saying, oh, they're fluffing it because of shipped, compared to what their announcement was before then for once again a big brand new game. Get me the press release for what they said back then we can compare press release to press release. But when it comes to Famitsu, they don't announce the Famitsu sales. They announce what they have. Companies don't use, at least Square Enix, they don't use Famitsu in their press releases. If you look at FF7 Remake, you look at all of that, they all say the same thing with sales. It sells, and they say shipped. It sells because they sold it to the retailer. You have not provided anything that says that there's fluff. I'm sorry.
Here's the press release for Dragon Quest XI, the same type of press release that they did for a 2D HD remake. Echoes of Elusive Age shipments and digital sales top 4 million. That's the same exact.
So they did the exact same thing they did with Dragon. You tried to say that they just said sales. They did the exact same thing.
They did say sales, and I found the press release that they put out.
Exactly, they said sales. Thank you.
Exact same thing.
They Renowned, so you can so the chat can see what you're talking about. Is there a way you can post that picture of that to the Discord just so people can see what you're talking about? Perfect.
Oh, I can link it.
Yeah.
They said exactly what I said that they would say. Total worldwide shipments and digital sales for Dragon Quest XI.
So they
said
what? 4 million shipments, but they can tell you 2 million sold. Why are they fluffing 4 million units shipped and digital downloads?
They're not.
It's again the same. It's the same exact bro. It's the same exact thing. Comic book companies.
They're not fluffing anything. What you're doing is that you seem to be upset because they say shipped, because they ship something and because they get their money. I don't think you knew that they actually get their money when they ship something, but whatever.
Well, I don't think you knew. I get this.
I don't think you knew that. I don't think you knew that, but whatever.
I actually did know that.
Okay, sure. Let's just say that. Let's just say that you did know that. Let's just say that you did know that. Whatever.
I made a comparison to comic books. It's the same thing.
Right. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I get the suspicion with corporations. I get it. Corporations lie. They fluff. They do all that. I get it. But I think what OJ's saying and what I'm looking at is like there is an acceptable level of that, and then there's a level that is worthy of this outrage. And I guess what I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing where any of this is worthy of the outrage that has been drummed up about this, I guess, is for my so try to explain it to me like I'm 5.
There's no fluff because we can see factually that the game has sold nearly 1 million just in Japan. If they were fluffing numbers, that number in Japan would be way lower. It would be because that doesn't count America, Europe, and all the other places. Now, if they said that this game is sold 5 million shipped and whatever, and we saw that it's only sold like a couple 100,000 in Japan where Dragon Quest is strongest, then yeah, I would say, that seems a bit off. They've barely sold them to Famitsu but they've sold 1 million. So 50% of the total that they've said that they have shipped plus digital download, They've actually sold 50% of that. And that's, once again, not including Europe, not including the US, not including other regions. Where is the fluff? They're selling what they're saying that they're selling and shipping.
Historically, there won't be much trail coming in for Dragon Quest in the US or Europe, to be fair.
Exactly. That's why the bulk, nearly 50% of nearly 50% is in Japan. And we can see that,
it's a series that never really has managed to make it out of Japan yet.
Outside of Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest 11 did really good in the US and in lots of regions. And that was Dragon Quest 11. But yeah, a lot of the previous ones not as good. But there is no fluff here. It's 2 million that they said that shipped and sold. They've sold 1 million, not including digital, in Japan. That's just retail units. They've sold pretty much 1 million at this point. We're going to get the Famitsu sales tomorrow. So we're going to see that it sold like another probably like 40 or 50K. So it'll be right at 1 million or whatever the case is. So there's no fluff, man. Like
so why is this different from a comic book company saying the exact same thing when they claim that their industry?
This is not a comic book company. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'd say. And that
do the same thing. They do the same thing. They claim things are shipped.
You have no proof. You have no proof. You're just saying conspiracy theories. You're just going off of a conspiracy.
I think the disconnect here, Renowned, is the comic book industry is going to be a paper industry. And again, I'm not as familiar with that, but you mentioned right off the bat that there's these super high margins, and I can see that with something like a print comic. But you don't have that necessarily the same profit margins you have in video games, which are going to be a little bit lower because of the higher cost of manufacturing a Blu-ray disc or a Switch cartridge, manufacturing cost versus the cost of print and paper. So I think maybe the disconnect is maybe this is a bigger deal in the comics than it is in the video games, and so maybe that's why it gets called out more consistently. I know you come from the comic books space, so I do see that consistently called out in the comics book space. But I don't necessarily know if it applies to the gaming space, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know that it doesn't, but I can see that there's a big difference most likely, and that might be our disconnect here. What do you think of that?
I personally think what I'm seeing is I'm seeing what's actually being factually reported. I'm not going off of my emotions or my feelings or anything or comic book industry that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. I'm going off of what Famitsu's reporting, which is the actual.
Well, and
sales.
I'm doing what I always do, which is I'm looking. I'm looking for the space between, which is maybe there's
I'm
a
simply
difference
going off what's factually being reported.
Right.
If you go to Japan, you look at the sellouts. People there are saying that the game is being sold out. You look at the PSN sales. So is Sony lying about it being number one for the whole month of November?
I guess
is Nintendo lying about it being number one? Is everyone lying? Is everyone lying? Is everyone making up things? Is everyone fluffing numbers so this guy can feel good about himself?
They can't lie. They can't lie because if they lie, they get themselves held legally liable to invest.
Everyone's lying about Dragon Quest sales, guys. Everyone's lying.
Here's my question.
They're fluffing everything.
Why does this game need to fail so bad? And I guess that's my question for any of these like Gunnergate Crusades is what is it about this particular game or any game? They're doing it with The Witcher now, man. Like, because Siri has some kind of a jawline and they're literally I'm literally watching these peeps wheel out terms that doctors don't even use anymore to describe the facial construction of a fake woman video game character. I guess my question is, why do these games have to fail when it's literally the same Siri that literally was from The Witcher 3 and no outrage? I don't remember any of this Dragon Quest outcry when Dragon Quest 3 initially censored crosses, which to me was a much larger censorship. Like if you're Christian, you'd probably be a little bit offended by that. Nobody outcried about that because they understood that Nintendo had very strong censorship predilections due to the gaming crash that just happened, and they needed to be as clean as possible. That was censorship back then. Where is this outcry? Where is this renewed? I guess my question is, where is this renewed zeal for free speech coming from, and why is it only applied to certain games and not others?
I'll tell you from my perspective, I didn't tackle the Witcher stuff because I've never played a Witcher game, so I'm not going to tackle that at all. Because I don't usually talk about things that I'm not knowledgeable at. So I'm not going to talk about the Witcher anything. But from what I have seen, from what I have seen is there are people that are comparing the Witcher's series Witcher 4 appearance to a recently released statue and saying how much different her face looks from statue to that. But they're also doing side-by-side comparisons of what she looks like in Witcher 3 and Witcher 4, and then they're seeing a huge change in her facial structure, which is kind of where they're getting their
I'm not
idea
seeing
from,
it, brother. I got to tell you, I'm not seeing the huge difference. It's one of those things where it's just like I just feel like this, and this is where that grifter term comes in, where the people that are talking about it, and it just seems like maybe there's a bag of money to be made, because I've looked at it, and especially like looking at the faces, and like I didn't do the 18th century like skull measurement shit that they were doing on Twitter to make sure that her exact facial features were. I didn't do any of that shit because I'm normal, but like
that's just weird.
that it seems to me like whether it's Dragon Quest 3 or whether it's this game or whether I just saw they just had this massive brigading thing because a game fogged out when you try to look up a pixel character's fully clothed body, and so they managed to get that reversed, and so now they can actually like skirt creep on a lady who is fully dressed, which I don't know. This is behavior in general. This entire movement is behavior that frankly I would be embarrassed to express this behavior in public.
I personally would let people just play the games the way they want to play it. I don't care.
I mean, that's one thing. I don't disagree with that, but like to literally have this much of a public outcry because you can't skirt creep a clothed character, like, oh my gosh, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like this is literally a parody of the SJWs from the 2014 and 10 times worse. Like, and I guess it confuses me that the people who are doing this can't see the irony in that. It just, I don't know. It boggles the mind to me. But again, they can do them. It's cool. But when it starts to encroach and actually starts to impact video games, and as Grums likes to say, be effective in some of the shit they're doing, it starts to.
That guy needs to go work on his game, Grums. Yeah, that guy needs to go work on his.
It starts to encroach on MySpace because I actually play games where these folks don't. And
that Grums, the same guy who took what $600,000. $600,000 in money. The same guy who took $600,000 for his game. That's still not out yet. No, that's actually out there. Like he took $600,000 plus of money, and it's been what 8 years now for his game, and he still hasn't delivered. That's why I call him grifter.
I just know it's.
I mean, there's plenty of developers that do the same thing. Are we not?
I guess that's okay. Hey guys, listen. Since other developers steal money, it's okay for him to steal money. Oh my goodness!
I've never once said that it was okay.
You're justified. Oh, plenty of other developers do it. So
well, what I am saying is you're going after one guy who took somebody's money. Like we get it.
I went after multiple developers. He brought up Grumps, so I brought up how he's a fraud. You like to sympathize with him. That's the reason why you sit there and immediately make an excuse for him instead of saying, you know what? Yeah, you just did, buddy. You just that is called an excuse.
I literally did it. I just said, okay, we'll call out Grums. I actually
you just said plenty of other developers. The first thing out of your mouth was plenty of other developers.
I said plenty of other developers do the same thing. Are we doing the same thing for them? Are we doing the same thing for them?
Sure. Call those developers out right now. I'll give you a stage. Go ahead. Call them out. Let's hear
it. There's the guy who did the Shadow Hearts successor. The guy who did the Breath of Fire.
Has that been 8 years?
Was it? Does it matter? Does it
matter? No, it does matter. No, I think it does matter. Yeah, time matters, buddy. Time matters. No, because if I start a game let's say a year ago, if I start a game a year ago and I don't deliver on that game in like 1 year, people will be more lenient because it's only been 1 year. But if I started something 8 years ago, that would be a little bit more problem, especially when a bunch of people on the Discord are complaining and his fans that bought in are complaining and he just ignores them to talk on Twitter and all that. So name something relevant and name something like that's like 8 years ago. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter how long it's been.
Yeah, because you're weird. Because you're a grifter sympathizer.
If you promise a product within a certain amount of time and you don't deliver, and it takes even more years, and you have no progress updates based on said product you're trying to deliver, it's the same thing. You get called out as well.
Okay, well then you call them out. Bad for them. Shame on them. Shame
I
on
agree.
them.
I
But the first
agree.
thing that you did was defend him.
The first thing I didn't do was defend him. I said, okay, so we're calling out Grums. Okay, cool. Are we calling
not
out
what
any
you
other
said.
developer? Yes.
That's not what you
Well,
said.
I'm not calling. Well, here's
No.
to be fair, I'm not
Time
calling
out. Hold
out.
up,
I'm not
Switch. Hold
calling
up.
out.
We're not going to rewrite what he just said.
I said, what about other developers?
Renowned,
Though?
you
Okay, we're
can't quote
calling
tweet
out.
me when we're debating live. You can't quote to me. Let me finish. You said the first thing you said was plenty of other developers. You are deflecting. You are deflecting. I don't know if did your parents teach you what deflecting is? Deflecting is when somebody says something
about other developers.
Listen, stop trying to quote tweet me live. Stop trying to quote tweet me live.
Nobody's doing
deflecting
that, so
is when when somebody says something that somebody did and you immediately bring up something else. That is called deflecting. That is what you did. When we first brought up Grums, you said plenty of others.
What you're doing is you weren't letting me finish my statement before you jumped all over.
No, you're trying to rewrite what just happened.
Nobody's rewriting anything. I said, what about other developers as well as Grums? You didn't let me finish my statement before you started jumping all over me. That's what you did.
Now my response.
And that's what I was going to say, but you jumped all over my statement before I got to finish speaking.
And my response is I didn't attack Grums for being, for not finishing a game. I attacked Grums for being an annoying, creepy, pervy weirdo. That is annoying. That is very.
And I've been personally asked on Twitter about Grums' game, and I said, hey, it's terrible. He hasn't delivered it. I've already said this plenty of times.
You should have said that first. You should have said that first instead of saying.
Yes,
you should have said that first.
I have been asked about it. Yes, I've been asked. It's like, what about Grums' game? It's like, yeah, I think it's terrible. He hasn't delivered it as well.
That's good. See, we're making progress. I like it. We're making progress instead of defending him first.
And again, always trying to search for that space in that path in between that's unexamined. I think another reason why Grums gets the ire he does, aside from being annoying and creepy. I think another reason Grums gets the ire he does is largely not. Again, I didn't even know about the game shit. Not super knowledgeable about that. But the other thing is these other devs, these devs that are doing, like you said, like the Breath of Fire, or whatever. You know what they're not doing? They're not inciting they're not manufacturing outrage and keeping this space in a constant state of turmoil constantly every single day.
All I said is he should go work on his game instead of sitting here on Twitter all day. Go work on his game. It's been 8 years. Go work on your game. The developers for those go work on your game. That's all I said.
He should. And again, I don't care if he works on his game or not. He should stop.
That's all I'm saying.
He should stop inciting. He should stop inciting and putting the space in a turmoil. That's what.
It's been a decade. It's been nearly a decade. You got kids that maybe supported it when they were 10 years old. They're about to be 20. They're about to be 20 years old, and they do not have their game. Listen, they not have their game yet, bro.
Hey man, I'm doing actually that same thing when it comes to the comic, indie comics, because I'm in that position in indie comics where a guy is spending all his time, live streaming rather than finishing a comic that's like 5 years old, 5 years late. I'm dealing with that now, so I get that.
Yeah, and then they come out and they scream at your boy Rippa too.
Listen,
who's putting
he potentially stole breast milk too from an Activision Blizzard. I just want to put that out there as well. He allegedly stole breast milk from. Listen, that baby went thirsty because of Grums. The baby potentially went thirsty because of Grums. That is creepy, man.
Allegedly,
listen, that is really creepy. I'm just saying.
It was called Penny Blood and Armed Fantasia. Those are the two games.
I know. I've covered Penny Blood and Armed Fantasia. Apparently, those games are going to get releasing in, I don't know when they said 2025 for those games.
I don't know about these games either.
So Penny Blood is the spiritual successor to Shadow Hearts, which I really like. And Armed Fantasia is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Wild Arms.
I hear good things about both those games.
Those, those have, as I'm saying, those have been in development for a long time as well. Like they were Kickstarter games. They actually took more money than Grums.
Yeah, the Kickstarters I think started 2023 for those games, or 2023. So it hasn't been 8 years,
But they also took more.
And I don't think they said the game was going to be ready in 2024. I I don't think they said the game's coming out in 2024. I think they started the game in 2023.
Well, if the game comes out and if the game's good, there's a game called Amori, which is one of my favorite flipping games ever. It's really, really good in terms of.
So this game was funded in 2022, and the last
took
update
forever to
was the
come out.
2024 for both of these.
So the
Which
last
is what I
update was-
mean, like
okay.
2024.
So it's been 2 years.
December 6th, 2024. So we're going on 3 years with this one. And this one actually took in more money than Grums' game.
Okay. What's your point?
My point is if we're gonna do it to Grums, then we got to do it to them too.
Okay,
But
call
why
me
is
in
it only why is
six
why is-
years from now.
it doesn't
if,
it doesn't
you know,
it doesn't matter.
If the
That's my
6
point.
years from now, I'll definitely blast them like I blasted Grums, and I'll make
We
sure that
should-
the developers of Pennywise and
blast-
Arm Fantasia, I'll make sure that they don't steal any breast milk either.
Yeah.
I'll also make sure that they don't do any of that, and I'll make sure allegedly, I'll make sure that they allegedly don't steal any breast milk, and I will blast them 6 years from now. And trust me, I will blast them because I've covered both of these games. So I will absolutely blast them, especially if the developers are taking all their time. If I see these two developers or these developers on Twitter starting stupid culture wars and stupid things back and forth instead of developing their game, I will blast them. Trust me.
There it is. Yeah.
Trust me. But because those two they're not on Twitter sitting here crying and complaining and whining about everything, talking about how Black Myth Wukong should be game of the year, and then his ass didn't even play it. Wow, it should be this and it should be that, and then he didn't even play the game.
I hear Black Myth Wukong is mighty good though.
If it looks like a fraud, it smells like a fraud, it acts like
100%.
a fraud, drinks breast milk like a fraud.
Allegedly.
It might be a fraud. Doesn't pay attention to his kids like a fraud. It might be a fraud. I'm just saying. You might be getting scammed. That's all I'm just trying to say. I'm just putting it out there. And it's been 8 years. 8 years like a fraud? Hey, listen, man.
But that's what
just saying.
That's what I mean. It shouldn't matter how many years it is. You should still call it the developer.
Oh, no, it definitely matters how many years it's been. If somebody's on Twitter all day crying, complaining, whining, and it's been 8 years. Oh no, it matters.
I think the longer it's been,
it doesn't matter.
It matters to anybody logical.
I think
anybody logical, it matters. Now, crazy people, grifters, no, it doesn't matter to them.
I think that the longer a game goes, and that's what happened to Amori. That's why I brought up Amori. The longer a game goes without coming out, I think the bigger the outcry ends up being. So 8 years, I think Amori was 6. I mean, that's getting pretty mighty, man. That's getting pretty mighty.
Look, like I said, I will blast the developers. I will blast the developers if they're caught up on Twitter doing all this nonsense. If it was the same thing, if it's been 8 years and they're on Twitter doing all this stupid stuff, drinking breast milk on the side potentially, allegedly, and doing all this weird stuff, trust me, I will definitely call them out. But there is no comparison here between Arm Fantasia and Pennywise, or not Pennywise. Sorry, Pennywise.
Well, and I want to make sure we're clear, though.
There's no comparison here.
We want to try to maintain some high ground here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Grums is allegedly a deadbeat dad. It doesn't matter that Grums allegedly stole breast.
Oh, did I say that? Oh, my bad. Allegedly.
That's literally that's like a personal attack. Has nothing to do with the conversation.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Allegedly, but I'm just saying
none of that matters.
There are tendencies within people, okay, grifters, to do things that are a bit slimy. Their character bleeds into other things that they do. And clearly, this guy's character is questionable, if not outright ridiculous at times, which has been detailed many times on there. But you got people protecting him. And you know what? That's fine. People can protect him all day. I'm just simply putting out there stuff that's already been put out there already. I'm just simply putting out there, and we're talking about it right now. He brought that up. I just want to say that.
I'm just asking him to just stop hurting gaming. Like okay, you don't like some of the things happening in gaming. Cool. There's a way to go about it besides just hate brigading the devs and hate. It just.
It's similar to what I say when it's like, okay, I'll call it censorship. It doesn't matter if I played the series or not. Which, even though I have said, I played the Dragon Quest series. Obviously, to people, it's not the best games in the series. What is so terrible about calling out censorship in a series? When I literally call it censorship in anything, regardless of what game it is.
And that's fair from that perspective. That's fair.
I first of all, if you don't care about something, what's the point of calling it out? It sounds fake. Listen, back in my day, when I was raised,
come out the way they're supposed to.
Wait, hold up. I hear you. Okay.
Similar to I'll say I'll put another game like Lollipop Chainsaw. That came out. People were talking about jiggle physics and all. I played the original game. I got every single achievement for that game. I think that game should have just come out remastered. Nothing changed. Obviously, music had to be changed due to licensing.
Okay.
I know that, but nothing should be changed from that game if it's just a remaster. It's
Okay.
not even a full-on remake. Like you can make the argument for Final Fantasy VII, of course.
So I can
But with
understand.
Final Fantasy VII,
I can understand.
they also had that department in Square Enix.
Yeah,
With,
you're a fan, right? You said that you like the original game, so therefore you're
Right.
commenting on the censorship for that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that you've got people, this is where the grift comes in when it comes to their ideology or whatever they want to believe in. They don't care. They know that they don't care. They don't play the franchise. They don't care about the franchise, but I can make some money online saying something about something that I don't care about. Listen, how I was raised is that if you care about something, you got to actually support that and you got to be about it. These people are not about playing games. These games, they're just about making money off of talking about stuff that they don't care about. And that's where the grift comes in.
Who are we specifically talking about?
Grifters. Anybody that you grifters.
Again, I volunteered Grumps, but anybody like
anybody specifically.
Grumps.
I'm not naming anybody specific.
I will.
That's the issue there.
I said
you can't even name at least one person.
I don't have to name anybody. I don't have to name
because
anybody.
That's just why. Which is why I like I said, I watch Vera Dark here and there, but she is one of those people that has been called a quote unquote grifter.
Okay.
But
you know she's not going to date you though, right? You're aware that she's not going to date you?
I personally don't care.
Okay, cool. Just want to let you know. Okay.
Yes, I understand. I don't care.
Okay, gotcha.
That's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
What I'm saying is, she is one of those people that has been called the grifter. Yet she'll sit there and like we recently had with David Jaffe. I know, he says that she doesn't game, right? Meanwhile, you can go on her channel and view all the games she's played, even all the shitty ones that she has called out and for various reasons, woke, whatever bullshit. She's played all those shitty games like Star Wars Outlaws and Dragon Quest the Veilguard and all these other shitty games that flopped or failed. So,
did they?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So Dragon Age the Veilguard looking like it didn't even break 1 million sales. There was a point where you could actually walk into a Target, buy a PS5 and get Veilguard for free. They were giving away Veilguard for free with video card purchases and various other things.
Veilguard, Veilguard's not looking great, honestly. But
I don't know where the sales numbers are for Veilguard. I don't know if it's not over 1 million. I don't know where the sales numbers are or not. But I mean, that's one chick. That's one lady.
Right. So
I'm not saying it's her.
I will give you another one.
Are you trying to fish out like an answer from me, like who I'm talking about? I'm simply talking about grifters. If you don't think she's a grifter, then ignore her. Then ignore that.
Simply saying these are people that have been called grifters in the past and just kind of proving how they're not. I'm not fishing for literally anything. Another one would be Hypnotic. People say he's a grifter, even though he's had a Steam account for 20 years, has plenty of Steam library, and has played multiple games, even on streams as well. Even though the crappy games that he's also called out as well. So
because he kind of does every now and then. He does. I've seen it.
He
also harbors racist too on his podcast, and he defended racism. So
allegedly.
No, not allegedly.
So
but it's opinion though. Some people think that it was racist. Some people think that it wasn't racist. But I mean, you guys' God, Osmond Gold or whatever, he said it was racist. So I mean, he's kind of like the Messiah in your community. So I mean, if he says it, then I mean, it might be racist.
I don't watch Asmongold, so
okay. Asmongold, is that his name? Okay, so even he said that was racist in terms of that podcast with Hypnotic. Even he said that. So, like I said, he is kind of the Messiah in you guys' community for a lot of that type of everything's whatever, blah blah blah, right? So he's even saying that. So Hypnotic had a podcast with somebody that said something, and he defended that. He defended that.
No, he actually called it out. Did you not see that?
No, he was defending it on Twitter.
He absolutely called it out.
He actually posted a clip
of him calling out.
After his video got removed. He did it. He wasn't calling it out on Twitter. He was telling everybody to watch it, and he was boastfully bragging when somebody called him out. So
he was telling people to watch the full context of what happened and watching him call out the person live.
He never once said that, hey, we don't want racism on our podcast. That's not a good look. We don't stand for that. He never said anything like that. That's where the grift comes in.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to. Because he's a grifter. Because he's a grifter. Watch my content. Watch my racist content. Watch whatever I want you to watch so I can make money.
he's a free speech absolutist. So people should say whatever.
And he harbored a racist.
Free speech is, so hold on now.
My whole thing. My whole thing is anyone should be able to say anything they want. But that does not. Let's see, what do we say? That doesn't make you free of consequences to what you say.
Okay.
Although you should be able to say whatever you want.
This video got removed.
So let's explore that. So again, like free speech as a principle is always an interesting principle. It's one that I can respect and understand people coming from that, right? But I think there's typically a deeper conversation that needs to be had where this sudden zeal that always seems to pop up, in particular with certain circles, comes from free speech. So to take the chat and to take the guests on a little bit of a history tour, won't be too much of a detour, but it's worth having. There is a old racist film from a long time ago called Birth of a Nation, okay? And this film had a backlash. There was all kinds of black activists, and there were more liberal activists that tried to boycott that movie. And in response to that boycott, which again, that's free speech. Hey, there's a racist movie. We don't want to watch the racist movie, and we're going to try to spread word that this is a racist movie that's damaging to a lot of people. In response to that, the director put out a pamphlet called The Rise and Fall of Free Speech. And there was a similar backlash to that boycott, saying, oh, this is attacking our free speech. So you understand that this pattern tends to repeat, and it tends to repeat in certain circles. And so while free speech in and of itself is a fine principle, the question I always ask is free speech to say what? Free speech to do what? Where is that coming from? And is it free speech one way, or when somebody tries to boycott that bad free speech, is that suddenly attacking free speech?
Listen, that dude, nobody's saying and I see what you're saying on Flipping the Switch. That was that's good. But I'm not saying that he can't say what he wants to say or anybody can say what they want to say on there. I just simply said the result of after that dude. When it comes to like grifting or when it comes to whatever, which we did invite Hypnotic here. He ignored our messages, by the way. But that's another.
Well, to be fair, I'm tiny. To be fair, I don't want to.
He still ignored them. He still didn't respond at all.
But you're not tiny. But I get it because you're not tiny.
It's not like he's a massive channel either. So
sure.
I mean, whatever. But what I'm trying to say overall with this, because I know like I said, you take issue with me even just saying grift tubers. I'm not even mentioning certain people or whatever. So I'll say this, like when people do stuff like that, like they just randomly want to talk about X, Y, and Z without having any type of information on the game or the franchise or what they're trying to do at all. If that's what you want to watch, that's whatever the case is, that's fine. I talk about stuff too as well. But let's not try to sit here and act like these people are highly invested into these franchises and care about the gameplay and care about all this other stuff. Some of them even potentially even play some of these things so they can say, I see, I told you so. I told you. Because if you look at all their old content, it's not even the stuff that they're talking about now in today's day. They've completely changed.
So changing your content is bad?
Changing your content is bad? What I'm saying is that they are following.
It depends on your perspective, because there's some people demand
they are following
content, and some that say no, don't change it at all, or it just depends.
They are following the grift. They know that this type of stuff can make them money doing this, so that's the reason why they're doing it. They're not doing it because they feel like some type of overwhelming call personally, because they are a fan of the franchise and they enjoy it and they want to play the games. They're doing it because they know they can rile people up online and make money off of it. Now that's fine. If you want to be able to do that, that's cool, but somebody can call you out as fake. I feel that those people that do that are fake. Now, I'm not mentioning anybody in particular that you're talking about certain people.
Even though you just said Hypnotic
or orange-haired lady or whatever. I'm just talking about this right now. Hypnotic, I don't know. Hypnotic, I'm just talking about grift tubers in general.
I'm saying I'm lost.
Yeah, so what would you consider a grip? So who would you consider a grip tuber? That's the thing. You can't just say all grip tubers and you're not naming nobody.
I'm just saying grift tubers.
But you just said Hypnotic at a grift.
I said Hypnotic does grifting, and he also harbors.
That's my point.
Yeah, Hypnotic does grifting. Yeah, he does.
Do you have any actual proof that Hypnotic doesn't care about what he talks about or the games he talks about? Do you have any proof?
Do I have any proof? No, I said that he does grifting, the stuff like he does, and also harboring racism as well. That's what I'm saying. That's
Okay,
what I
but do
see
you have
on
any
his channel.
proof that he doesn't care about the franchise he talks about?
Well, maybe if he played more and I saw him actually play the games and I saw him actually cover the games.
He played Black Myth Wukong. He played
Okay.
Dragon Age the Veilguard. He played Dustborn. He played Half-Life 2
Oh,
recently. He played Alan Wake 2.
To be fair,
I'm talking about the game. Like I never told him that.
played Dragon Age Veilguard to make money.
He made it so we can.
He made
confirmation bias.
He made the most ridiculous character he possibly could. He made the most hateful character he possibly could. He named it something ridiculous, and I get it. Like I get the humor from that perspective, and I don't think he played that for the love of the franchise. I think he played that because he could steal on the game. He could steal on the devs. He could make fun of the transness and the skin conditions and all the other stuff that he found ridiculous. And I think he knew that was going to make him some friends.
And that's fine. I don't have a if he wants to be a grifter or grift-tuber, he can do that.
Now, did you ask him if he's ever played any previous Dragon Age before you assume that he's grifting on Dragon Age the Veilguard?
Did I ask him that he's doing that? I'm just saying if he wants to be a grift-tuber or if he wants to sit there and if he wants to do these type of things.
Did you ask him not if he played?
He won't even respond to my message. Did he play the previous ones?
Did you
ask him? Play the pre? I'm asking you.
Did you ask him though? That's not.
Why would I ask him?
Because you're assuming that he's a grifter because he played Dragon Age the Veilguard and assuming that he's never played a game.
No, I never said he's a grifter because he played Dragon Age the Veilguard. I said that he played it because he knows he could make a ton of money saying ridiculous things and doing ridiculous things on it online. Okay, that's what he did. He did that. That's exactly what he did.
But you've also said grip.
He didn't play it because, wait a minute, time out. He didn't play it because he's some type of big Dragon Quest fan and he wants to see if it's really he already went into it thinking one thing. He already went into it knowing I'm going to slam this. He went into it one way. Come on, man, stop the cap.
But you made the assumption that grip tubers talk about stuff in franchises that they don't care about. What if he's actually talking about a franchise he does care about? Did you ever ask him if he's played a previous Dragon Age game and cared about it?
I'm telling you what
I'm pretty sure he's played The Witcher 3 and talks about The Witcher 4 being
I don't know if he has or not. All I'm saying is that the first thing that comes out of his mouth, it's something so he can profit off of it. This is a problem. This is a huge. These are what these dudes do. They don't actually talk about the game in terms of it. They don't actually want to know about the game, what it does good, what it does bad, and an actual real review of the game. They don't. You know that they don't. He didn't do that with Dragon. We don't need to sit there and ask this or that. That's exactly what he did.
He actually did
Dragon Age Veilguard. That's exactly what he did.
He actually did write a review for Dragon Age Veilguard on his Twitter account.
What is Twitter? Oh my gosh. I bet that was completely fair and non-biased before heading into it, right?
So once again, you didn't even ask if he was a fan of the franchise previously before assuming that he's doing it for money.
He might have been a fan of the franchise. I don't know if
all right, but then you can't make the assumption that quote unquote grip tubers do it because they can just say ridiculous
things. One guy
act like they've never played a previous game in a franchise.
Grift tubers do a lot of different things. I wasn't naming anybody individually. Once again, I said he does grifting. I said he does grifting, and he harbored a racist and made excuses for them on it. I mean, that's what he did. But like, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
The person that he called out in the live stream that he did during that whole situation. So once again, we're doing this thing where we're assuming that because someone's talking negatively about a current game in a certain franchise, you think they didn't play the previous games, and they never
said that he didn't play them, man.
I'm saying it. No, I'm saying this as a general rule of thumb.
All right.
You're assuming that grip tubers do this thing where they talk about the franchise currently and what's coming out in the franchise, but you're saying that they didn't play. They don't care about the franchise and never played it. Like that's what we're doing. Without actually asking the person if they've actually played the previous games in the franchise.
I don't ask grift tubers anything. I don't ask them anything.
That's the problem.
You know why I don't ask them anything?
That's like me.
The reason why I don't ask grift tubers anything? Because they don't say anything. Because they're so focused on saying X, Y, and Z and grifting and doing all this. If they play all this stuff, if they do all this stuff, then start actually talking about it. then start actually talking
and
about it
full
more on your page.
disclosure, like-
Start actually showing more of it. If they do all that, then that's fine.
Oh, you
If
mean
they
like
did
how-
all that, then that's
they're
fine. But
showing-
a lot of them
You mean
do
like
not.
how, you mean like how Hypnotic has shown his actual Steam library?
So full
I don't
disclosure,
know what a Steam
like,
library has to say.
Hypnotic-
You're focused.
So just so the chat is
You're
aware,
focused. Wait, time out. You're focusing on one person, bro. I said GriftTubers. There's a lot of people that actually don't play the.
So I talked about
Grums. Let me give you an example. Grums talked about Black Myth Wukong. It's
he should be called out for that.
It's this or that. So you can bring up any example of one person or not, and I can bring up an example of somebody who does do that. So I'm simply telling you grifters.
And just so the
simply
chat is
telling you
aware, because the
grifters.
chat needs to know this. Again, tiny channel, so he could have just said it's beneath his notice, but Hypnotic was invited to this discussion. Hypnotic decided for whatever reason, not saying he was scared, not saying he might have had other shit to do. For whatever reason, Hypnotic is not here. So again, it would be nice if he was here. Then we could ask him directly, but he doesn't know anybody this time.
I don't care. I don't care what Hypnotic play, bro. I legitimately he can play whatever he wants to play or not.
Negatively about GriftTubers when you'd never asked a single one you consider a GriftTuber if they've ever played a game in the previous franchise.
They should talk about the game. They should talk about the games more.
That's like saying, "Oh, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake," and I go, "Yeah, I played the original version. This version sucks." Like
these, if you are complaining about a franchise that's been around for a long time, and if you actually like that franchise, you would be able to easily point out X, Y, and Z why this is wrong about this new thing that you're complaining about. You should put that in your complaints because that's usually where complaints come from. If you've played, there's a lot of people who are complaining about Ciri. How can she be a Witcher? These morons did not play Witcher 3 because it was very clear that she was going to become the next Witcher in the Witcher 3. Okay. It was very clear because a lot of people don't actually play stuff that they have to talk that they're talking negatively about or whatever. A lot of people do not do that. Okay.
It not being in the lore and literally saying that females cannot be witchers and adults.
Okay, and is Ciri normal? Did you play the end of Witcher 3?
I have played the Witcher, guys. To be fair,
Ciri I said I did not play Witcher.
Linchpin is Ciri is the linchpin of the entire narrative of the Witcher series, essentially, and it is basically staked out as early as game 2 that Ciri is special. Like she's basically
correct. She has elven blood, is from what I read. Yes,
correct. So she's special. So
yes, women can't be witches.
Ciri is a character.
Yes, women cannot be witches because they cannot survive the trials of the.
Well, I guess Ciri. Ciri's just like every other woman, right? I guess she's a very common woman.
So now you got to come up with a way to explain that.
They already have.
That doesn't.
They already
did. They already did, buddy.
They already have.
You didn't play.
So Ciri is staked out as being a special character. So basically a player character. So I play a game called Morrowind. And in Morrowind, there are certain characters, whether it's your player character, whether it's Vivek, there are certain characters that reach a state called Chim, Chim. And basically, yes, chat, I found a way to work Morrowind into this discussion. Deal with it. But the point is, that character can break the rules of the universe because they are a special character, and it gives an excuse for the player character and how they're able to impact and do. It's a very brilliant thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is, built up in the games initially, they basically built a kind of Chim into Ciri. That is a fact. They built her out to be special most women, you're right, in the lore, women can't be witchers. Ciri is an exception to that, and it's essentially built as such.
Right, so they'll throw in a monkey wrench to completely break the lore instead of just following.
It was planned out as part of the overall story. Most women cannot be witchers and will not be witchers. They're mages. They're witches. Ciri is special. Ciri was earmarked as special from nearly the beginning of the story's geopolitics starting.
I'm just giving you honestly, like I said before, never played a Witcher game. I tried to play The Witcher 3. I haven't really gotten around to it. I'm just explaining to you the point of view that people are having.
Okay, and maybe that's a good point.
That point of view failed.
Hold up,
and this is a good measuring because that point failed.
This is a good reason why people who don't actually care and don't know about the game should shut the hell up about woke or this or that with certain stuff. This is a perfect example. You want to complain about this or that in the game. You didn't even, you don't know.
I've never I
You don't
literally
know
said
about
right
it, but
before we
you'll
even talked about this. That
you'll run online to your
never,
Twitter account.
I never attacked. I never approached that.
You will
at all.
defend that. You will defend that option. You will run
Defend
online.
what?
People will run online and say, "Oh, well, this and that and blah blah." Dude, they
Defend
don't
what?
even know what they're talking
Defend
about.
what?
And that's what I
Canon?
discussed. That's the biggest
Canon
problem.
and lore. Like, what are we talking about here? I already said I never played a Witcher game, but if we're talking about breaking canon and lore, was that what I'm defending? Canon and lore apparently is bad.
Did you did you hear that it was set up in the previous games that she would become the next Witcher because she's special? What part of that did you hear or not? Did you hear that?
Okay, so you'd have to again explain it in the new one, not the current one.
No, it was explained.
Elven
It was already
blood.
led
We're
to believe
goalpost shifting.
it was already set up. People that
Elven blood.
it was,
what are we talking about? Elven blood.
you haven't played it, but
It
you're trying to say that it wasn't.
it
Are you
doesn't-
going off of Grums or somebody online that told you? What are you going off of, brother?
Again,
You going off people online, right? That's what it sounds like. Because you just said that you didn't play.
You're claiming something I've never claimed.
Okay, but you're sitting here and telling us, no, it's this way.
I am telling you what people's perspective is.
What people have said.
She is able to both manifest magic and she has shown a limited ability to infuse. So it's not a very big stretch that she could undergo the Witcher infusion. They've already set this up. They set this up, man. Like, and again, there's a reason why they're not talking about that as much anymore. And now they're going to, well, we don't like her DEI chin. Like there's a reason why. And
You're
again,
allowed to not like the way a character looks. That's literally an opinion.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'm just telling you what your folks are saying there. Like that's what they're saying.
Right.
That's why I said the people that are just complaining online before they even know anything about that's a problem. That is an issue. That is an issue. That is a big problem because they don't know what they're talking about, yet they're talking online. And some people have big accounts, that's where the grifting comes. They don't know what they're talking about. And then they just want to say whatever. They don't know what they're talking about.
They literally give opinions. They're allowed to do that.
Okay, and they're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah,
and they're allowed to be wrong too.
Yeah, and you're right. And you're right. They're allowed to give their opinions, but if every time they open their mouths to give an opinion, they're a hateful piece of shit. You understand why people react the way they do.
And there's also dumb opinions. I mean, people say, "Oh, nobody's opinion." No, there's really dumb opinions out there. If you don't know the franchise, or you don't know the games, or you don't know what you're talking about, yet you're throwing opinions out there about the X, Y. That's kind of a stupid opinion, in my opinion. That's a dumb opinion.
But I've also asked you, did you ever ask anybody you're complaining about?
I asked
if they've ever played a game in the franchise.
I'm not.
And that's my point. There are people that sit on Twitter, they cry about grifters all day, and yet they'll say, "Well, I'm not going to talk to those people." It's like, well, then you don't know their perspective.
You don't know. People did a better job. Listen, if these people did a better job of explaining X, Y, and Z in their Twitter posts complaining, I know when somebody knows about something because I'll see how they talk about it. There's people that complain about all sorts of stuff in my stream and everything, and I don't question it because they bring up knowledge that is pertaining to what they're talking about. A lot of these people pick the easiest common thing to attack. Pick the easiest thing, and they don't reference the games before. If you know something, then you will reference it. You will know what it's about. But a lot of these people do not reference anything from the past games. If they did, they would say it. If they did, they would say it, and they don't. And they don't, and you know that they don't. You can ask them all you want to, but I guarantee you a lot of them just do it because they know they can make money off of it. Is it 100% of everybody? No, I do know that because Grums did it, and he's a grifter. So I do know that because Black Myth Wukong, your leader, he's the leader in the grift, one of the leaders in the grift community. Black Myth Wukong, he was sitting here capping all day for that game. He's sitting here and capping, and he never even played it.
None of this matters, though. And none of this matters.
And he never even played it. He never even played it.
About what you never asked those people if they played previous games or games that you're talking about that they're gripping.
Well, listen, Grums did.
So here's the thing, guys. None of this matters, and let me tell you why. Because The Witcher is going to come out. It's going to sell a bazillion copies. It's going to. So I just want to get everybody ready for this. And when it does, all of the people who were measuring skulls and talking about DEI chins, they're going to claim the game. They're going to say it never was woke to begin with, and they're going to move on to their next outrage tourism.
That's the thing. That's what these people, right? It's woke until it does well enough. Then it's like, oh well, no, it was never.
No,
it was never that.
Opinion. It's called an opinion. Grifting is not an opinion. But giving an opinion is not grifting.
It's woke. It's go woke or go broke until oops, I'm wrong. And then oh my gosh, I'm not going to talk about that. Like Dragon Quest. Getting back to the topic, like Dragon Quest.
No,
go woke, go broke.
In mind that
once again, an opinion.
Baldur's Gate 3, where you can clap a bear's ass cheeks, is unwoke. Keep that in mind now.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, it's woke until it does. If it does really well, then I don't want to talk about sales numbers.
Baldur's
but if it doesn't
Gate 3,
do well,
where you can literally have sex with everybody.
Concord,
not woke.
Dustborn. Look at these games. Look, they went woke. They went broke. Dragon Quest.
Majority of games that have gone woke have gone broke. Look at Saints Row. Look at the Volition go under after 30 years because they made one bad game.
But is it because but Renowned, is it because they're woke or is it because the game's a piece of shit?
Well, yeah, the game's a piece of shit because it went woke.
So then it's not because the game is woke. It's because the game isn't good. Thanks for letting us know. See, the funny thing about Grip sympathizers, you guys don't even believe your own shit. That's the funniest thing about you guys. Like, y'all will contradict your own stuff right then and there, so I don't even got to do it.
No, the game went woke and it was trash because it went woke.
Oh, it was trash. It didn't. No. Dragon Quest went woke. Did it go broke? No, it didn't. It's fine. Dragon Quest is fine. Baldur's Gate went woke. Did it go broke? Oh no, it's fine. It's actually pretty good. Concord, that went woke and it went broke. Oh, that game sucks. That game's trash.
Tubers, they've literally said you can have woke elements to be a good game, or of course, because you never watch their content, you would never hear them ever say that.
Man, I watch their shitty content. I have watched their
exactly. So they don't even know that they say these things.
Hold up here, buddy.
Elements and be good. That's the problem. You don't watch the content you complain about.
Watching their content is like grading your thumbs, or you're like putting like a chalkboard and like scratching your nails against the chalkboard.
You're admitting that you don't watch the content you complain about.
Let me finish. I've watched their content, and their content consists of anonymous sources. This is woke because this girl's chin looks a certain way. She has different color hair.
An opinion they're allowed to have. Once again, an opinion.
Let me finish. I've watched their content and it's garbage. Okay, and it's
so here's what I will say, guys.
If you actually watch their content and you listen to something
full of nonsense,
which is a game can have woke stuff and still be good. They literally said these statements.
So then, why say go woke? Then why say go woke, go broke?
Yeah, it's more about
wait, let me finish. It's more about if the game is good or not. This woke or broke stuff is a grifting element that you guys use to try to say, I got you. But then when it doesn't when it doesn't fit your narrative, it's it can still be good. It's fine. So here's
it's a mirage.
I gotta interject, guys.
Plenty of times.
Go ahead.
Gotta interject. So just like you are correct in some aspect to say you can have an opinion on a game without playing the game. I think to some extent that's correct. I can have an opinion on a channel without necessarily watching all of that channel's content. You can get a feel for a channel. Like people can pop in my stream for 10 minutes and they can get a feel for me and they can get a feel for my channel and they can say, this doesn't seem like my thing, and they can butt out or they can subscribe. Like
all I'm asking for is consistency.
If you're gonna there's a lot of YouTubers that people you call grip tubers have always been consistent. Been consistent.
If you say go woke, go broke, you're not consistent because you're not consistent because that would mean if you go woke, you're gonna be broke no matter what. It's not go woke, go broke. Sometimes, no, that has to pertain to the actual game and the quality of the game itself. It's not whether it's woke or not. It's whether the game is good or not. That is the overwhelming thing. So go woke, go broke shouldn't even really exist. What should exist is the quality of the game. They are cherry picking go woke, go broke. Sometimes it's go woke, go broke. Other times it's not go woke, go broke. It's it can be woke, but it can still be good. But people can still buy it.
The end zone is that it was never. The end zone is it's never woke at all. It wasn't woke.
That's what they do. They shift. They move the goalposts. They shift. And if Dragon Quest flopped, if it sold nothing, you guys would all be saying, not you guys. People would all be saying, "Go woke, go." See, look, they went broke. But the fact that it sold well, they stopped talking about it. And it gets back to what I said originally. They are grifting. They are moving the goalposts. They are sitting here. They don't know about the franchise 11 years ago doing type A, type B. They don't know about a ton of different things that are brought up in this, but they're doing that simply for their views. Go woke, go broke when I feel like it. More like the quality of the game wasn't good. That's
having
the
an
reason
opinion
why.
and saying that this is why a game will fail, and then being like, okay, well, I guess I was wrong here. That's possible. It happens all the time.
Right,
That's
but
literally possible.
behind their principles. If Baldur's Gate 3 was woke before, and you can have sex with everybody, and you can be everybody.
They said, okay, well, they've literally said, well, this game has a pronoun selection, but the game is very good. Like, that's where they're like, okay, well, some games can have woke elements and be good. Here's an example: Baldur's Gate 3.
But isn't that contradictory to their principles? If we're against woke, we're going to send them a non-binary message. Isn't that kind of against that? Because that's what they do. Is we're going to boycott these woke games.
They've literally said this on multiple occasions, not just one.
Yeah, because this is what grifters.
I'm just trying to understand.
That's not, again, it's an opinion.
You're so in the ideology. You're okay with them changing and moving it around when they see fit.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with moving it around. They've said this for any game that has come out.
Brother.
They literally said, "Oh, this game could be good. This game could be terrible. It might have this."
You're brainwashed.
Every game. It's had this for every game. They've said this.
Then I should never hear "go woke, go broke" then, because it could be good. It could be good,
but it's not inconsistent when they've said it for every game. It could have this woke elements here and there. But still can be good.
Why mention
for every game though?
Wait, okay,
but
why, let me ask, why mention "go woke, go broke" when it literally could be a good game and it doesn't? So why even mention that if it's literally up in the air based on the quality of the game?
It's
majority of the games that have gone woke have gone broke.
No, that is just your opinion. That's just your opinion. That's just your opinion. There is no factual anything. There is no factual evidence of that. You're just making up stuff. Saints Row. Okay. Which Saints Row? That game sucked. The newest Saints Row sucked. That game was trash.
We know
reviewed
that.
terrible.
We all know that. And the
game reviewed terrible. It was bad. The game was bad.
Yeah.
The game was bad. It's not because it was woke. It was because the game was bad.
Same with Concord. Like I hear people say, like not only is Concord a bad game, but the designs are just. I heard quote unquote woke and quote unquote non-woke people both talk about this a little bit. That's to say, these are the blandest freaking designs I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. For a hero shooter, you've got to have good designs.
Yeah, and then when they have good designs, they get called Coomers. So it's like nobody can win.
Bro, you have not mentioned all these games that are good games that have went woke and went broke that are actually good games. You guys pick the games that
I don't mind some sexy pixel. I just think that
I'm still trying to find what all these games that went woke that are actually good that went broke. Can we get the majority? Let's name all these games that are good that went woke and went broke. Let's hear all these games. Let's hear it. Let's go. Get your list.
A game that went broke.
Get a lifeline. It's Grums on the line. Get a lifeline. Get a lifeline.
Gone woke, went broke, and was good.
Yeah, that were good.
A game that goes woke and goes broke is a game that's usually bad. What are you talking about?
But not Baldur's Gate. But not Dragon Quest.
Yeah, you can have, again, the argument of you can have woke elements and be a good game. Again,
I'm telling you, you said the majority of games that go woke that went woke go broke. That's what you said. You said the majority of games. So give me this big list of games that are good, okay, that are actually good because they go woke, they go broke. You're naming a bunch of games that are games that are bad. And I'm telling you the reason why these games failed. I'm saying that these games failed because they're bad, not because they're woke. It's because they're bad. Concord failed because it was bad. Dustborn failed because it was bad. Saints Row failed because it's bad. Dragon Age failed is failing. It's because it's not as good as the previous games, and people are upset with that. It's not as good as it's not as good as the last Dragon Age Inquisition. It's not as good as the first Dragon Age game. That's what I'm saying. And you're trying to say, what? What is your point now, brother? I want you to show me the games that are actually go woke, go broke, that are good. You're naming a bunch of bad games. Now name some good games.
Yeah, to get the bad games that typically go woke and go broke are bad
games. Name the bad games, please, brother Renown. Name the bad games.
Bad games, Dustborn.
Oh no, sorry, my bad. Name the games that go woke, go broke, that are actually good.
There are none. games that are good that go woke and go broke. That doesn't make any sense. They'll go with little woke and be good games. Again, this is a statement that plenty of people that you're complaining about have said
you
previously.
talking
That
Twitter.
a game,
Baldur's
that a
Gate
game
is
talking
more
Twitter.
than-
You
hold on,
talking Twitter,
Baldur's
brother.
Gate is more than a little woke. To be
There
fair.
are
You
games
talking
that have
Twitter.
woke
You
elements and be
talking
good.
Twitter, bro. I'm asking you to name this big list of games
It doesn't.
there is okay.
To
So
be fair,
there
this
isn't.
whole discussion
You
has
can't have
basically
a
been
game
talking
that's
to Twitter.
woke and broke and be good.
This
It
whole
I gotta give
combo,
you
this
that.
whole
doesn't
combo,
make any
this
sense.
whole
That doesn't
combo
make any
is Twitter. Is Twitter the combo?
This is talking in Twitter right now because he has been telling me, oh my
It's all
gosh,
three of
the majority of games that go woke go broke, and all he's mentioning are games that would have went broke regardless because they suck.
Games that go woke,
That were they were
broke
not
are
good
bad.
games. They
You
were
can't
not
make
good
a game
games.
that goes broke. That's good. That doesn't make sense.
What I'm trying to tell you, Twitter man, is I'm trying to
you're not
tell
teaching
you
him.
what I'm trying to tell you, Twitter guy, is that I'm trying to tell you that all of these games that you guys say go woke, go broke, they went broke because they're bad. They went broke because they're bad.
No
Okay?
shit.
They're
Yeah,
bad
they're woke.
games. They
They're
are
woke.
bad games. Not because
They're
they're
woke,
woke, they're bad,
but
because the
they're
games
bad,
aren't
they go
good.
broke. They're
The
woke,
games,
they're
no, the
good.
gameplay
They're bad,
mechanics.
they go broke.
Listen,
That's
the
why
game's
they-
mechanic. No, listen, Twitter guy. The game's mechanics are bad. There's bad gameplay. There's bad story. There's bad elements that even if it wasn't woke, it would have been bad. There's Saints Row is bad. It is not good, regardless of what you think it's woke or not. I don't even know if it is or not, or whatever. It's not good. The game sucks. It's not as good as the previous
it's
Saints
bad
Row
because
games.
it's woke.
No, that now you are doing the
Again,
fallacy.
that's-
That is
again,
a fallacy, buddy.
problem-
That is a
problem
fallacy.
is-
No,
problem is you
no,
don't
the game
know
is
the other
bad
side's
because
perspective, and you're
no.
making a
See, you're making excuses now because listen,
don't
you're saying
need to make
the game is bad because it's woke. So Baldur's Gate is woke too. Is that game bad?
Again, there are two things can be true at the same time. A game can be woke and bad and go broke, and a game can have woke.
Do you not understand what the problem that you just did right now? Do you not? Let me break it down to you. You just said the game is bad because it's woke. So then other games are also woke.
When did I say Baldur's Gate was bad?
You just said no.
No,
You
I did
just
not.
said,
Well, I
brother,
think
you
the
just
problem
said
is
right now that
I've
Saints
never
Row is
said
bad
good.
because it's woke. You just said that. So then if a game is woke, is it bad? No.
The logic breakdown is that
Again.
Baldur's Gate is an objectively good game, but it's also very woke. I think that's where the logic is breaking down for at least me.
Bro, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about at this point. When you watch the replay of this, people are going to be looking like, okay, hold up, what's going on here? Because he's saying that Saints Row and these games are bad because they are woke, not because of their game mechanics, not because of their story, not because of the gameplay glitches and things like that. It's because it is woke. Woke is causing the bad. So then why isn't Dragon Quest bad because of the woke? Why isn't Baldur's Gate bad because of the woke? Because you're saying it's not about the other things. You're saying it's about woke. So that should apply to everything. That should apply to everything. It can't apply to what you feel like it should apply to. It should apply to everything. You've never even heard that statement from anyone. The games are bad. The games are bad not because they are bad. Because they are bad gameplay, bad mechanics that are written in the reviews and what people say about it. It's not because it's woke. It's not because it's woke. Because the woke reviewers and review sites that are woke and that are corrupt, they say the games are bad too. That you guys all dookie on and say that they're woke and they're this and they're that. They also say that the game is bad too. Okay? So it's because the game is bad. It's not because it's woke the game is bad, like you tried to just say with Saints Row. It's not that. It's because the game mechanics are bad, like it's written in the reviews and everything. Okay? So there isn't this huge list of games that go woke and go broke. You can barely name anything, okay? And if you look at it overall, whether a game is good or not, it's based off the actual gameplay.
Forspoken Studio went belly up.
Forspoken sucks.
Went belly up.
Forspoken is a bad game.
Is Forspoken a bad game? Do we know that?
It got patches to make it better, not at this point, but I played Forspoken. I don't see how it's woke in any type of way, but a woman is the main character. Woke. Okay. Black woman. Woke.
Well, that's one of the things.
Sure, whatever.
My entire point that there's always people that don't hear the other side's perspective and just assume.
Why is Forspoken woke? Renowned. Why is Forspoken woke?
I don't know. You tell me.
You just said that Forspoken went belly up because of woke. So why is it woke?
There's plenty of reasons why.
Why is it woke?
Because
that was a pregnant silence.
in the game itself.
Why is it woke?
The story and the character being outside of fourth wall breaking, not being
fourth wall breaking means woke.
There's plenty of reasons why it's woke.
You haven't named any, and you didn't play it.
That's what we're. I mean, I guess that's what he's asking, and yeah, I'm very curious to know as well.
You sound crazy, right? This is legit. I'm having a discussion with Twitter right now. Like, legit. I'll give you credit, Renowned. You are just like you are on Twitter, like talking to a wall.
Like I said before, you've never even talked to anybody you complain about. Yet you will sit there and assume that they don't care about a franchise because they give an opinion on something.
You just said a game is
problem with
you just said a game is woke because of fourth wall breaking. You don't even know what woke is, man.
You don't either, apparently. You don't understand
I'm trying to figure out, and you can't say anything.
Side. You can't even.
And by the way, Forspoken reviewed terrible. By the way, the launch it reviewed terrible. I played it. It was kind of mad. They patched it, made it better, but at the beginning, it reviewed really bad. So once again, you named another game. You named another game that reviewed terrible. That you said went woke because it went. That's why it went broke. No, the game wasn't very good. Another game. You still haven't named anything.
The one thing I remember about Forspoken is there was that really cringy cutscene where she's like, "I did this with my mind."
That's bad writing. That's not woke.
I cringed really bad. Yeah, I don't think it's woke, but it's certainly bad.
That's bad writing. I know. Like that's bad writing. I played the game. The game's written bad. It's not. It's got okay combat, but the resolution isn't the best. The frame rate gets a little chippy at times. There's some stuff with the story that's not necessarily not the best, but those are gameplay elements. That's not because it's woke. This person, Renowned, he saw a black woman as the main character and immediately assumed woke because that's what it is to you guys.
He did not.
Then you haven't named anything why you said it. You haven't named anything why it is.
Now you're just putting words in your mouth. Now you're just putting.
You haven't named anything that's woke about the game, brother. You just mentioned it because it is a black woman. Let's just be real here.
No, that's really not why, but okay.
Then why did you mention it?
Because it's a game that went woke and went broke. And
how did it go woke?
It went belly up.
How did it go woke?
But why is it woke?
How did it go woke? Because it broke the fourth wall? Huh? Is that why it went broke, buddy? Because it broke the fourth wall?
There's plenty of games that went belly up that were terrible. Concord. Okay,
there's plenty of things that you still haven't named anything. You're gonna look ridiculous, brother. I'm telling you, watch the replay, man. You're gonna look ridiculous, buddy. Yeah, I'm telling you. If I were you, I'd stop while you're ahead and just take the L. Like I'll forgive you on this one.
The funny thing is, you can't even ask the other side what you're complaining about. You're complaining
about. The funny thing about you is that you didn't play the game.
Talking to you right now. You guys are.
The funny thing about you is that you didn't play the game. You said it was woke. You said you don't know how, but then you said you do know how, and you've waffled back and forth for I'm counting on about 6 or 7 minutes on this. Like I said, you look ridiculous, man. You look like you look ridiculous. I'm being honest with you, man. As somebody who's probably much older and more expensive, you look ridiculous because you're sitting here saying things are woke, and it proves my point. Y'all don't even know what you guys just say woke. You guys just say woke about anything. Y'all just say this is criticize whatever you just say whatever you want.
Quote unquote grip tubers don't care about the franchise they talk about. You do the same shit. You do the same shit, but on the other sides. Yeah, you do.
I do. What do I talk about that?
Because I asked you, did you ask anyone on the other side what games they played in previous series? You said, I'm not going to ask those people anything because you don't actually care. You don't actually care to hear their, you actually don't care to hear their opinion on anything. But yet you're going to sit here.
I watched their videos. I watched their videos. Their videos are not knowledgeable about previous games in the franchise. If their videos were knowledgeable about previous games in the franchise, then I'd be like, okay, these people got knowledge about previous games in the franchise. They should put it into their content. Are they not content creators? When I make a video, when I criticize or when I make a video about something, I'm knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. I will say, hey, this game did this. So like when I criticize Mass Effect Andromeda, I say Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 did X, Y, and Z, why it's better than Andromeda. The Mako parts are trash. They messed up with the characters overall. There's a bunch of things that I will point out because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan and I know what I'm talking about. These people do not point out things. Why? I watch their content and they don't. They don't, and you know that they don't, and you know that they don't.
I've done the exact same thing with my videos, which is why I told Flippin, I said, "Oh, I didn't tackle the Witcher 4 stuff because I've never played a game in the franchise. I don't tackle things that I'm not knowledgeable.
You're slightly you're better than them.
I don't do content if I'm not knowledgeable in it or if I'm not interested in it. I don't do it.
So you agree with me? Great, thank you. So that's great. We agree. It's good to not do content that you're not knowledgeable on. See, I knew you'd come around.
I do that a lot. I've done that with.
I knew you'd come around, Renowned. See, look.
What are you talking about? I said that from the beginning about The Witcher 4. I said that very early on that I didn't about The Witcher 4 and the whole Jaw thing or whatever. I never tackled that because I never played a game in the franchise. I'm not going to talk about it. I've literally said that like very early on when we were talking.
Renowned. What I'm saying is that in general, you just said in general, you don't talk about like your content, right? Your content, you don't make content and stuff that you're not super knowledgeable about. A lot of these people, once again, they're just making content just to make content on whatever so they can get whatever because they don't actually. I've watched the videos, brother. They don't actually put in knowledge from the previous games in their content. There is not a ton of knowledge on the previous games in their content. If there was,
how much of their content have you actually watched? Because I did ask you. I said there are times where games can have woke elements and be good. So you didn't know that people have said that before.
No, what I said. Wait a minute. Content. No, what I said is that they simply adjust when they feel like it. They can say, "Oh, they only say games can have woke elements and still be good because they're wrong about things. So they'll use go woke or go broke when it applies to them. When they can say, "Oh, this game sucked. Concord, go woke, go broke." But the game sucks. It's not about it being woke. The game's not
so
good.
I'll give you guys an example of where this is happening right now, actually. And that is, what is the new Naughty Dog joint? What's that called? Shaved Head.
Intergalactic Heretic Prophet?
Yeah, that
Interstellar.
One. Yeah, Interstellar, Intergalactic, whatever it is. Yeah, that
game. Intergalactic.
Game with the shaved head girl, which, again, I've heard that's an homage to Ripley from Alien. I've heard it's an homage to Velasquez. But I guess my point is every time one of these characters comes out that's like kind of a butch shaved head lady, like we have this kind of outrage, and I just wonder, like, do you know how silly this would look if every time, and we don't even know that she's a poorly written character yet, she might be, but let's say, do you know how ridiculous this would look if every time a poorly written milquetoast like man character, just like your average like white dude, if every time there was a poorly written or mediocre white dude character, if every time that character was written, then do you understand how silly it would look if there was this level of outrage? I mean, we couldn't. There's so many of them, we couldn't even get things going. Badly written characters just happen, and they happen from all races, genders, creeds. Like, I don't necessarily think that it's useful to just go after a certain segment of a character. And what it is I just feel like a lot of this, and I'm not saying all of it, there's some people that might take umbrage for whatever reason, it's just unstated, that this is a bad character. But I see a lot of this as just kind of hatefulness. And I guess that's why a lot of people kind of have a knee-jerk reaction to it,
Most people don't want to play as a character that doesn't look appealing to them. It's another thing. It's even a study that says that even some
pallid rando white dude that's also a badly written character. I guess that's an easier character to play, I guess.
Yeah, for some people, yeah. I guess like people are allowed to, like, for me, yeah, exactly. They have their own biases, whatever, and that's fine. People are allowed to think what they want to think, right? But I see what you're saying. Flipping the switch. But for me, that's the most interesting thing Naughty Dog has done for me, at least. Like, that's more interesting than anything else that they've done. Like, their first game, or not their first game, but anything that they've done since the PS2 days. Uncharted, it's a cool game, whatever. And that's a great game. It's still good. The Last of Us, zombies, they're taking advantage of that. This is like, future or 80s futuristic Blade Runner type of thing. Whatever, cool. I get people don't like the character in terms of how they look or something like that or whatever the case is. But once again, it goes back to people not evaluating the actual game, like when it comes out. It goes back to people.
My question, though, is why is there only outrage one way? Why does it seem like there's only outrage one way here?
Because they're not hiding it. That's they want to play. Well, one, they think that it's some type of message being sent to them, or we're being replaced, or some type of thing based off of, going back to, I think, what was it, Reforged Gaming talked about, going back to like the Superman look, or going back to, the Nathan Drake, or going back to all those characters like in the 6th and 7th gen, or no, sorry, yeah, 6th, 7th gen, Metal Gear Solid, or Snake, or, like I said, all those characters that we had before, and they feel like, oh, they're trying to put some type of message. They're trying to put some type of, oh, this is a statement, political, whatever the case is, right? That's what they think that is happening with their favorite games.
Here's the thing, though. So if you remember, if you wind the clock back to 2006, when right before the crash happened, we were losing companies left and right. And the thing you got to understand, and I just want to try to make the other side understand where game companies are coming from with this, because I do think you're kind of correct on that. I think there's this fear that, hey, there's a message being pushed, or replacement is happening, but what's actually happening is, at the time the Nintendo Wii came out, and Nintendo Wii had a proposition for gaming. You could continue to go after one specific demographic that gaming had been going out after for years, ever since the Game Boy, when the decision for Nintendo's marketing was for video games to be marketed primarily to boys with the NES. Ever since then, you had a demographic which was a young adult male demographic that was being sought after. But the macroeconomics changed, and when you have a macroeconomic downturn, the people that are most impacted by that are young adult males. Yams, for sure, right? So what ends up happening is 2006 rolls around, the Nintendo Wii comes out, and Nintendo is ahead of this trend. Nintendo says, hey, we can continue to work, we can continue to go after the same freaking demographic we always have, and gaming can enter decline and possible crash, or we can pursue an expanded audience, and in times of macroeconomic decline, be stable and have growth in times of macroeconomic growth. The games industry in that era, you remember this, OJ, they rejected the Wii proposition. They said, no, we're not interested in expanding the market. We're not interested in making games for your expanded audience, normal people. We're not interested in that. We want to continue to make games for the obsessive freaks known as hardcore gamers that buy games based on graphics and other things. It's not even a woke versus unwoke thing at this point. It's hey, we have a certain bread and butter demographic that caters to high graphical fidelity, high processing power. That's what they care about. That's what we're going to focus toward. And what happened? The Wii proposition was rejected. The crash happened, as Nintendo predicted. And we literally lost over 250 developers, THQ, drawn and quartered. Dozens and dozens of developers closed. Pandemic Studios closed. So much loss in the games industry, which kind of, I think, woke the games industry up. Not meaning to make a pun there, guys, but it kind of woke the industry up.
Woke?
To say, yeah, you see what I did there. But the point is they understood it's not so much that they want to push some kind of a leftist or woke agenda. What's happening here is this is a genuine response from the games industry that they can't continue to cater to one specific subgroup of gamer anymore. It doesn't work. And the proof that it didn't work is the fact that we lost over 250 dev studios and publishers in that era right after the games industry crash. Nintendo even was on the lurch for a little while, if not for New Super Mario Brothers Wii coming in and selling out consoles all over again. It was a bad time. And Nintendo was right about that. So I guess my question is I just want to give some emphasis on, it might not be, I understand people might think, hey, there's some kind of an agenda going on here. The only agenda from a corporate perspective is sales and increasing those sales to show to shareholders. The reason they are pursuing what a lot of people are calling woke, it's not necessarily woke. It is an acknowledgement that Nintendo was right all along in terms of the expanded audience. That's all it is. They're going after more than just their bread and butter that they had since the 1980s and early 1990s. That's what's happening. But given that perspective, do you understand where I'm coming from on that, OJ? Renowned?
I understand, but I still want to know, like, something's still hanging me up, bro. How is Forspoken woke, bro? I'm trying to. How can I gave you some time, yo, bro. I'm sorry. I see what you say from the switch, but yo, how's Forspoken woke? I'm trying to think, bro. How was it woke again? I gotta ask. Cause we're down there. You asleep?
No, he's there. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he was just listening.
I mean, like, did you? How was Forspoken? And I see what you're saying, flipping the switch. I agree with you, and with some of, but how,
Well, and I want to
Forspoken
come back
woke
to that. I
again?
don't want to lose that tread.
I just want to know, like, how was Forspoken woke again, bro? I just want to know.
I get
That's
it. I
still
get it.
tripping me
But
up.
I think I answered that. I think it's perceived as woke, and it might be. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna throw my cards on the table. I'm just gonna lay my dick out. Right. I
Yeah, go
think
ahead.
that it's a reaction to. I think the protagonist is the reaction for a lot of people. I'm not saying Renowned's reaction, but I'm saying a lot of people. I think it was the protagonist. And again, I'm not even coming at it from I think they're trying to be deliberately racist or sexist. I think there is this very real idea that, hey, there's some kind of a weird idea that there's some kind of agenda being pushed, and there's not. It's simply seen as expanded audience business. Now, whether that's the right direction or a wrong direction, again, as Forspoken proved, the game has to be fucking good. It can't just be a shit game and have, the expanded audience represented.
I gotta hear what Renowned's got to say. I gave him
Okay.
some time to think about it, bro. Like,
Okay.
why is it woke again? I mean, maybe you got a better answer. I'm still tripping about that, man.
It's just cringy storytelling, really bad. The gameplay is really bad.
Eh.
But I mean, that's not necessarily
So
woke.
is that bad gameplay means that it's woke? Okay, okay, cool. We agree. You know what? I'm glad that you said that, because now that we agree, that's what I said. I said that the reason why these games, go woke, go broke, it's not that, it's the gameplay's bad. So yeah, so woke means bad gameplay. But wait a minute, Baldur's Gate's woke. That gameplay's good, so it doesn't apply there. But in this situation, it applies, right?
Woke elements game can still be good. See, now what people had an issue with Baldur's Gate was the fact
No,
that you could.
I want you to talk about Forspoken. You just said the gameplay's bad. That's the reason why it's woke. You just said that, if I'm not correct. You said it's woke because the gameplay's bad, right? That's what you just said.
Yeah.
So bad gameplay equals woke? Is that what you're saying?
It is what I said, but that's not what I mean. That doesn't make any
go ahead.
sense.
Go ahead. We got time. Go ahead. Tell me what you mean.
So, let's see, why did they call it woke?
You looking it up why it's called woke? Give him some time, chat. Give him some time. Let him look up why it's woke.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the whole the identity politics and social justice issues with the game. That's what it was.
Identity politics?
I heard social justice. We are
like pushing the fact that the character is like the fact that they like put it in there, like the main focus is the character is black.
Oh,
like,
so a black woman.
We don't
a black woman.
like, we don't no, so we don't need to hammer the way that the character's black. We know the character's black. We understand.
Did they hammer away that the character's black in the game?
It's the real world politics stuff that is why it was woke.
Like I said, a black woman. Okay, cool.
Real world
Her game's woke because there's a black woman. Thank you. Thank you. I just needed the you looked it up. You just said it.
We're never fucking leaving 2014, are we, guys? We're never.
You just said it, brother.
I just
said it.
The social identity politic issues.
Social
justice identity politics.
It's
2014. It's 2014.
Wait, hold on.
Never leaving 2014. Ever.
Give me specific examples of the social. Give me specific examples of the social, economic, whatever the hell you're bringing up.
Pushing the identity of a character as like the main focal point of the game is like kind of what people
the main character is
say,
the main focal point of the game.
What did they do? What did they do?
Like putting the politics of the character at the forefront.
What were the politics of the character? What were the politics of the character?
Has anybody played? Has anybody in chat played Forspoken? Okay, so just lay it. What is the character's politics? So I don't think anybody's played this.
That was what people had a problem with. The people had a problem with the fact that it pushes the whole identity of the character to the forefront instead of like
what did they push the identity of the character? That's ridiculous. There was no. It's not like she's like, guys, I'm over here. I'm gonna be out here. They didn't do any stereotypes or anything like that. Like, what is the identity of the character? She's just a black chick. That talks normal.
So basically,
that acts normal.
basically what people use is the example of like not pushing it to the forefront. What people don't like about things with identity politics, as far as woke, by what I understand, is
2014
pushing the social issues to the forefront of the story
What
and putting
are
the story in the
social
background.
issues being pushed to the forefront?
we're never
I'm not
leaving
saying-
Gamergate. We're never
I'm not
leaving Gamergate.
saying
Ever.
as not saying it pertains to Forspoken.
We're
and
never
pertaining,
getting
like,
out of
in
this.
general what people talk about.
No, I'm telling you, pertaining to Forspoken, because you said it was woke and you didn't even play the game. You said it was woke before you even played. You didn't play it. You don't know about it, but you know that they went out of business. So you said, oh, well, they went broke. This is what I've been saying. You guys will use go woke, go broke on anything that you feel. Oh, it flopped, not because it was a bad game, because it was woke. Well, why is it woke? I don't know. Identity politics.
At this
What
point,
identity politics?
At this point, is Big Red going to show up?
It's
Are we
because
gonna
she
get a
was
Big
black.
Red thumbnail?
It wasn't because she was black.
Just admit that.
No one ever said
bro.
that.
Big
No
Red coming
one
next?
ever said that, and I have never said that.
Just
never
okay.
will
Well,
say
then
that
you
because
still
that's
have
not
not
the
given
reason.
me a reason why it's woke. And once again, the game is not good. That's the reason why it flopped. The game's not very good. It reviewed terrible. It reviewed that. That's the reason why. It has cringy writing. It has, like I said, the dialogue's not the best, but that's not woke. It's just bad dialogue. Fourth wall breaking, which you said before, which you said you didn't mean.
I did agree with cringe. I did agree with the cringe storytelling.
Cringe storytelling isn't woke. It's just bad storytelling.
No one ever said that.
Okay, well, we still haven't gotten to the example.
No one's
of why.
ever said this. That's the thing. You've never listened to anybody about this because you don't want to ask them anything about it.
I'm listening to you right now. I'm listening to you right now.
I'm listening to you right now. You looked it up, and my point is that a lot of you guys just say woke on everything. That is my personal. And you have proven that.
Oh, we're not even at woke, OJ. We're not even at woke. We're at social justice.
And you,
I heard
and you've proven that by looking it up and saying that. And you've proven what I was saying, that you guys just
leave in 2014, are we?
I don't do what you claim that I do.
Okay, well, you have not. You still have not told me why the game is. You just said you looked it up online. You said people push the identity of the character. Well, the identity of the character, she's black, but what does she do? That's the problem. What is the specific problem? See, Dragon Age, there's a smoking gun or whatever. It's there's trans or whatever, right? Or there's pronouns. What did she specifically do that was the biggest problem? That was the game was woke and it was terrible because of that, and it flopped and it went belly up. What was it? No, I want them on this one, man, because
that was what people had a problem with.
What was it?
I'm not saying I played the game. I didn't play the game.
What did people have a problem? People had a problem. People had a problem with her being black. That's what people had a problem with.
What do these people do?
Black girl.
What do these people do when they go to the DMV and let's say you see a black woman? Oh, whoa! DMV sucks now.
Listen,
what
you said because the pushing the car. I've played Forspoken.
These people need to be fucking tranked.
And I'm telling you, man, I've played Forspoken, brother, and I'm telling you, this stuff that people are saying, it just has cringe writing. And like I said, the gameplay wasn't necessarily. I mean, there was some good gameplay in there, but there was some problems. Like the story's not the best. Like it's just stuff that you can have in a game that can be a regular character or a normal white dude that can have a bad story or whatever the case is. People, listen, you got to stop looking at what people are saying online, because once again, you didn't even play, you didn't research yet. You already said off the top that the game was woke, and you couldn't even recall why people even said that. You had to look it up. You had to type it, but you instantly said it. Why did you instantly say it? What's the point of you instantly saying it?
My mailman is trans.
Somewhere?
Woke.
Because the character is black. It's a black woman. That's the reason why you said it.
You
that it was
asked
woke.
me what game was considered get woke or broke, and I answered that question. That was your question.
And you have done a terrible job at answering it, because one,
that was your question. You asked me what games were called woke and went broke, and
I said what good games. I said what games were good that went woke, go broke.
Because
Forspoken is a bad game.
Good games that are woke don't go broke. That's the point of what I said already.
This is very silly.
So games that are actually good with the gameplay,
again,
even if are good. Okay, so that's the whole point.
The whole point is that games can have elements and be good. Elden Ring was another example of this, where it had body type A and B instead of being male and female. That's what they would consider woke.
So good
saying
gameplay.
saying that, you know, basically that male and females have different body types, which.
So listen, man. Good gameplay determines whether the game goes woke or go broke. It's not. There is no go woke, go broke, because a game can be woke and still do really well. So there is no go woke, go broke. It's based on how good the game is. That's basically what you've proven, that what you've said here tonight. That's what you said here tonight, because you've still mentioned a bunch of games that are bad games. They're not bad because they're woke, because woke doesn't inherently equal bad. It doesn't. You even said it yourself. Woke does not equal bad. There's games that are woke that are good. So when a game is bad, or if it goes broke, it's not because it's woke. It's because the game is bad. Because you said it yourself that games that are woke can be good. So it has nothing to do with the game being woke or not. It has the game is bad. The game is bad. And I hope you understand that. I've been trying to tell you that, and you say, no, the game is bad because it's woke. No, woke doesn't equal bad. By your own statement, woke does not equal bad. Baldur's Gate, Dragon Quest was
I just explained to you the arguments that the other side gives. It's that they have said in plenty of videos, yes, these woke elements are here, but this game can still be good. We'll wait and see. There's been plenty of times that people have said this.
And you still haven't named the game. And you still haven't named the game. And you still haven't named the game.
You even watch the content creators you complain about.
Listen. You still have not named a single game that went broke that was really good because it was woke. You haven't named anything.
That's a fallacy. You can't have a game that has woke elements that's good and it's not going to go broke because it's good. People are buying it.
Exactly, because of the gameplay. I want to let you know tonight. You know what you've told me? You said, "Oh, well, the game was bad because it's woke." So that is a contradiction. And maybe you can't understand that because you're on Twitter all day and people on Twitter contradict themselves, and grifters, and you watch their content and these grifters get into your brain. But that is a contradiction. That is false. Okay. You have said tonight, and you can watch the replay, that, oh, that game went broke because it was woke. It was bad because it was woke. But then you've also said, oh, well, a game can also be woke, but be good. You are contradicting yourself. Okay. And you have tonight. You have. And many people in the chat have said that you have. And it's right here on video. You can go back, replay. You said that a number of times.
I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed that we're back in 2020.
And it's very disappointing. And it's very disappointing that people just can't admit. Okay, people have a problem admitting that it's the game, and that's where the grift is. It's not about
you can't admit that having an opinion is not a grift.
It's the game.
Opinion is not a grift.
When you move the goalposts on your opinion based on the game being actually good or not, that I can call that out. That is where I'm calling out. I am calling
is not a grift though.
No, what's a grift is sitting there and saying go woke, go broke. But oh wait, sometimes no, not necessarily. Oh, sometimes it is go woke, go broke. Sometimes it isn't. No, it's like the game sucks, go broke. If the game is not good, go broke. If the game is usually good, probably won't go broke. But if the game sucks, it will go broke. That's what you guys should be saying. But that doesn't fit your narrative. That doesn't fit your grift. And that's where I'm coming from an actual real gamer, is that I care about the gameplay. I care about how good the game is.
But
not some stupid politics, social politics bullshit that these people spew online all day. I'm glad that you agree with me, because I know you agree with what I'm saying right now.
As you've already stated, you don't even actually ask the people you're complaining about if they
brother, you've been defending
in the series.
Brother, you flip-flop back and forth whether or not.
That's the biggest thing that I don't understand. If you're really concerned about if somebody has played a previous game in a series that they talk about, like I said, me having an opinion on a censorship of a game series that I have actually played, or if I haven't played it, I can still call out censorship. What is the issue there?
If you have played it or if you haven't?
If I haven't played it, but I say, okay, this is censored.
Well, the problem with here's the thing. The problem with that is because if you haven't played something and you don't know the history of something, it might lead to you saying things that you don't know about or you don't know the context to, which you already admitted that, hey, I don't want to make content on things that I don't necessarily play, okay, or I don't know about. So why are you asking me? Well, now it's okay to say things about stuff that I've never played. Why are you saying that when you admitted yourself that, hey, you know what? I want to make sure that I know about that. You can call out people.
I can call out people without playing a series. You can call it censorship without playing a series.
But here's the
You have
problem,
an
though.
opinion on it.
The problem is that you don't know the history that was already situated and done with beforehand, with the whole A, B, or whatever the case is. A lot of stuff that you guys are complaining about had already been something that was changed a long time ago. But you don't know that. But you don't know that because you didn't play.
I specifically talked about the design change of the female character originally designed by Akira Toriyama.
The big problem we have here is, honest to God, like, we have not. Am I the only one that is just baffled by the fact we have not moved discourse in this industry forward, in this space forward? It's been 10 years. Listen, I'm sorry. I have to keep going back to it. Like, I am gobsmacked. We are in 2014,
is that
and we're
I've had I've got TM over here killing me on this one, saying that you don't know what you're talking about on this one when it comes to the Dragon Quest situation.
So here's the question. Yeah, TM wants to come in, but are you guys okay with TM coming in?
If he wants to come in to talk about Dragon Quest, but I just want to say before he comes in, I want to say that's not my main issue with the whole situation with talking about it because of the censorship or not, whatever. People can talk about that. What I'm trying to say is that this grift of acting like they know about the franchise when they don't, that is an issue, which he's even agreed with me. That is an issue if you don't know about the franchise or the history and you start talking. And once again, you flip-flop. Games are woke. They're bad because they're woke, but then sometimes they can be.
But then I asked you, did you ever ask another content creator? You are saying that because they're talking about a franchise, have you ever asked them if they played a previous game in the franchise? And you say, I don't care. I don't need to ask them about this.
I've said I don't care. You know why? Because here's the reason why. Wait, here's the reason why I say I don't care. Because other people ask them all the time and they don't got nothing to say. FlippingTheS'Wit himself has asked them about what games they're playing or what they've seen. I've seen people ask them.
They don't answer.
And they do not respond. Not only do they not respond in those comments, but they also don't respond on their own videos. They do not show knowledge of a franchise. They sit there and bitch about something all day. They do not show the knowledge about these franchises that they're complaining about. And you know it, and I know it. They do not. And they do not answer people when they talk about some of the stuff here. You saw a plethora of people complaining about Witcher 3 series. Did any of them talk, or Witcher 4? Did any of them about the what happened in the other Witcher games? Did any of them talk? No. They just simply complained about her face. The most popular people just complained about her face and complained about how she's a woman or whatever the case is. They did not talk about, okay, well, in Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, they set up this. They did not give that knowledge. You know they didn't. And people ask them about it. You know they don't respond to those people. Let's keep it a buck. Stop trying to cover for these people and act like they're knowledgeable on all these franchises, when if they were, they would actually let you know. They would prove that they are knowledgeable about these franchises. They are not. They do not respond to people. They do not do it in their videos. You know this. I know this.
Both our chats are calling out the circular nature of this discussion.
Hypnotic literally ask people all the time to debate. Some people don't join and some people do.
That has nothing to do with what I just said right now. What I'm telling you is that these dudes do not actually know. A lot of these dudes, I'm not just talking about him. A lot of these dudes that talk about this, they do not know what they're even discussing. They're simply talking about it because they can make money off of it right then and there.
You actually, that's the thing. You do not know that.
I've looked at the comment section. People are asking them questions. People are asking them questions. They don't say it in their videos. They don't say it in their videos.
They don't have to respond to a random Twitter account on the low.
Bring TM in here. Yeah, you out here making yourself look.
So I want to make sure everybody's okay with it, because again, that wasn't necessarily an agreed upon thing.
Okay with it. Bring this man in here. I can't talk.
I actually have to go because I have to work tomorrow.
You have to go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll let you exit. We'll get TM in afterwards. But yeah, it looks like so. RenownedZ3ro says he's got to go. TM. But hey, buddy, thanks for coming on. I do owe you a singular Liquored Up Live. We need to talk Castlevania, talk about actual fucking gaming. So at some point,
Castlevania is great.
Fuck yeah, man. We need to talk
about Castlevania all the time in my streams. How great it is.
But I encourage you to think of the things I encourage you to think about. At least what I said on the nature of the industry and why specifically it is evolving the way it's evolving. I don't think it's anything. I really don't think it's anything sinister or anything agenda driven. I really think it's profit driven. Now, whether or not that's the right decision, we'll find out. But it really is a reaction to what happened in the late 2000 aughts, basically.
Personally, I think the more you try to reach a wider net of players, you might end up just abandoning your old player base, which is what companies sometimes end up
Maybe,
doing.
Could be.
Maybe
That
that's
try
what
to
they did
expand
with
a wider
Forspoken,
reach.
right?
It-
Forspoken, the reason why is that what they did with Forspoken? They put that black woman in there and pushed that identity to the max. So that's why it caused people to not want. It caused people. I mean, maybe if you can still.
What I mean is,
people can also, just like you mentioned, just like people mentioned with the new Intergalactic game, they could have looked at that character and said, I don't want to play that character. They could have also done that.
True, that's true. I mean, I don't know. They should probably have missions where you can steal breast milk. I think if you do that, that'd probably jump up the sales in so many games. If you can steal breast milk, if you can steal breast milk, or if you can make games and take 8 years for them to come out, I'm telling you, bro.
But once again, like I've said, you have to call out all the developers. Doesn't matter how long they've taken. If they set a release date for something and they don't meet that deadline, you gotta ask questions.
I'm trying, Vito Libido. I'm trying, buddy.
I've done this.
That's true. That's true.
And like
also,
I said,
you got to call out the guys who steal breast milk too. Got to call them out too. You got to let them know.
People have said, "Oh, do you agree with Grum's taking all this money and not making his games?" Like, I don't think that's good. I think he should deliver a product similar to like I do in the comics indie space, where like, well, this person's taking 4 or 5 years, but you're just sitting here spending 6+ hours crying about a fucking dude making comics and not ignoring the shit out of it.
Well, here's what I'll say tonight. This is what I learned. What I learned is that go woke or go broke is a situational thing. Is a situational thing based off of the gameplay. Okay, that's what I've learned tonight. It's situational.
I may just not be the best person to.
It's a situational thing, guys. So before he goes, here's what we've learned: go woke or go broke. If the game goes broke, it's because it's woke. If the game doesn't go broke, well, it's because the game is actually good. That's what we've learned. That's what we've learned. We've learned that. But in some scenarios, the reason why the game went broke, not because the game was bad, not because the gameplay sucked, not because it was terrible in terms of mechanics, it was because it was woke. So there are different set scenarios based on how you want to make your money online and how you want to do things. So that's the thing. Dragon Quest was woke, and it could have went broke, but it sold good and it reviewed good. So therefore, it's good. It didn't go broke, even though it's
nobody said
it didn't go broke. But Saints Row was bad because it was woke. It was bad because it was woke. Okay, that's the reason why it was bad. Not because the gameplay mechanics.
Dragon Quest was going to fail though. No one claimed Dragon Quest was going to fail though.
Go woke, go broke. So it's situational. I know it's situational. They said it was woke. They said Dragon Quest was woke. Did they not?
They said it had those. They said they had censorship.
So it's woke. They said it's woke. There's the thumbnails. They said it's woke. They said it's woke. Okay. They said it's woke, and it's situational. Since it didn't go broke, it's okay. It's the gameplay is good. It's situational.
I personally called out the censorship. I don't think it should have happened. I call out again censorship in every type of game, no matter what it is.
And I called out that too. What I'm trying to tell you is that I still think that because you're terminally online, you do not see your own issue.
I'm literally not, but okay.
You are. Because you argue like you debate like it's Twitter.
I spend more time working than I am on.
You debate like it's Twitter, bro. Like I'll tell you, you'll literally sit there. Like I said, go back and rewatch this, and you will see exactly what the has been going. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes,
you will say one thing like the game is bad because it's woke. You literally said that about Saints Row. The game is bad because it's woke, not because of the gameplay mechanics, but because it's woke. So that should apply to everything. You can't apply it to what you want. And that's what I was trying to say. It is situational. You apply woke and it's bad based on what you want, not because the gameplay itself.
Things can be true at the same time.
No, those two things are not true at the same time. That is you moving. That is you changing the argument and changing things to fit what you want. No, those two things cannot be true at the same. That is false. You cannot say the game is bad because it's woke and then say another game, well, that game's not bad, even though it's woke. It's because the game is good. No, it's because of what I just said. It's the gameplay that makes the game good or bad. And I know that you agree with that, but you're being stubborn. Like I said, it's Twitter. This is what people do on Twitter. They'll sit there and say, no, when you literally know what I'm saying is right. The game is good or bad based off of the gameplay and the mechanics. It's not based off of it's woke or not. You can't say that it's woke because of this. It's bad because it's woke, but then other games are also woke and say, well, no, those games are bad because they're woke, because the gameplay is good. That's what it's about. It's about the gameplay. And you know that. That's all I'm trying to say, man. And you're sitting here trying to flip flop back and forth.
You've never explained to me what a grifter is.
I did multiple times.
Yeah, y'all don't mind if I interject, right?
Interject real quick.
Well, first off, I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening.
I gotta go.
Renown, don't go. Don't go. I can answer your question.
Well, if he's got to go, he's got to go.
Take 2 minutes.
I legitimately gotta go. I can't stay up any longer.
Well, RenownedZ3ro, thank you for coming on again. Just coming in and having the debate. Appreciate it. And again, I owe you a Liquored Up Live.
I appreciate you.
Just you and me, man.
Cool.
Go ahead and say what you wanted to say, though, TM. Like if you want to explain what you wanted to say.
I can answer his question. What is a grifter? It's him. The fact that you complain about type A, type B, I can't see the underwear in this Sprite. The warrior class design has changed. Yet he says he played Dragon Quest. He tells me the only 2 Dragon Quest games he's played were the worst 2, which is Dragon Quest Swords and Infinity Strass. And then when I break it down to him that you're just now complaining about Dragon Quest being censored and gone woke, when these changes existed all the way from 2011, the female warrior redesign, along with the male redesign, was during Dragon Quest Monsters 1 remake on the 3DS. And they did that to target a A rating for the Zero rating system on the 3DS. That system is only in Japan. I thought these grifter dudes say that, oh, Japan ain't woke. Japan don't do woke, go broke. But apparently they did because they changed the design. That design also was present in Dragon Quest X, the MMO, Square Enix's second most popular MMO, right next to Final Fantasy XIV. Again, another Japanese-only game that you don't hear these people talk about. Type A, Type B was introduced in Dragon Quest Walk in 2021, another Japanese-only game. You didn't hear these guys talk about that. They started talking when Dragon Quest Monsters 3 was revealed, and they saw Mina have like her outfit was like censored. They gave her shorts, so she didn't wear like her like exotic gear anymore. It was just like boxer briefs or something.
Oh, so she didn't. We were missing the 5 centimeters of thigh that they're having a meltdown over.
Pretty much.
Okay. And
they were like, "Oh, this is going woke. This is because Square Enix's Western branch. This is the localizers." No, this is because they want to achieve a rating in Japan. They want to get that Zero rating. Yuji Horii has stated this numerous times, and it's something that they can't understand. And then they run with this interview that happened back in, I believe, like over the summer.
That.
Yeah. It was basically Yuji Horii just being like,
hey, you know what? I have to trust my I'm running the game. Do I think it's a little silly? Sure, but again, we're making business decisions, and I have to trust my business team. That was the interview. Exactly. That was the bombshell interview.
Yes,
which was exactly what I was attempting to explain, that these are business decisions.
Yes, and then you have like the other dude who was just yapping. He's not even a part of the Dragon Quest development team. He's just there. He's just yapping. He's just giving off his takes on what he thinks. And so people are quoting him, then Yuji Horii. Right. And they're treating this other dude like he does make Dragon Quest when he doesn't. And then what I also don't get is that Dragon Quest 12 is in development, and that it's the first like dark mature game in the Dragon Quest franchise. Not like dark as in like, oh yeah, it's like Dragon Quest 5 or you're a child slave and your father gets killed, blah blah blah. No, this is a like first dark mature game, just like how Final Fantasy 16 was. Don't know if it'll ever get an M rating. I think it might just get the T rating like these other mainline games have gotten, like 8 and 11. But I mean, for it to have a dark mature theme, I mean, maybe you might see some 5 centimeter of thighs, but are you going to go out and support it? Because these people are out here complaining about Dragon Quest, but they historically just never supported the franchise. You can look at the sales of these games in the West.
Yeah, one thing I've always seen, man.
That's what I said, though. That's literally what I said. These people are just talking just to talk.
One thing I've always seen, and again, gaming, and again, what I will tell people, gaming has been invaded. Our gaming space has been invaded by the political. It's been invaded by these people. So that's one of the things, and I've heard these people say, well, woke people don't buy the games. They don't support the games. Yeah, neither do you guys. And that's the point, because none of y'all are in this for gaming. Y'all are in this for politics. And that's why I would love it if y'all could just see yourselves out. Seriously.
Well, you know, he didn't want me to bring up the stuff that we talked, like the whole leftist thing and all that, which I didn't bring up basically because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what these
OJ,
people
known
do.
leftist, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, no, because my home country got banned by the previous, well, by the whatever, by one of the administrations, and I didn't like that. that
Oh,
my
how
family
dare
wouldn't
you?
be able to wouldn't be able to come here and see me, or you know, my wife.
You expressed your personal interest? Oh, whoa.
Yes, I was upset over that. I was upset. How dare you? How dare you be upset about that? Or that I see something and I say, well, this is what I saw happened, and that's what I saw that happen. It's not politics or any like policies or anything, but whatever. We didn't talk about that because he knows good and well that that would have went wrong for him. But what I was trying to stress tonight, you know, TM, what I was trying to stress with this was the whole sales thing, which I think he eventually he deflected off that. So we got off the topic with the whole sales stuff with Dragon Quest, because that's how it all first started. He was just upset. He's trying to defend all these people that are grifters or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, he ended up agreeing with me. Like, he legitimately would agree with me, then flip-flop. Agree with me. You can go back and you can see it. He would agree with me, then flip-flop. He would say, oh, gameplay? Wait, no, it's not that. He literally said Saints Row is bad because it is woke. But then he's like, oh, well, games can also have woke elements be good. So no, the game is bad because the game is bad, not because it's gameplay, which he like agreed, but then he didn't want to admit it. This guy is like literally talking to Twitter. This guy's ridiculous. These are how these people are, man. Like,
yeah, that's why I wanted to catch him, but he left, and I wish he didn't have to, because he was yapping, and I thought he had to leave. I'm like, okay, I can catch him here.
Well, that's my fault,
but,
TM06. I am technically shit, and so I was literally looking up. I'm not even kidding you guys. So, Chad, I'm not kidding you. I was looking up a tutorial how to add somebody into an existing Discord combo.
And the cool thing about it. And like I think like the good thing that we went back, like the Forspoken thing. I mean, like, this is ridiculous. He just he's never played it. He said it's woke. Instantly said it's woke. It went belly instantly.
So
and didn't want to admit his own racism.
That was a flag.
That was so good.
And
so
again, I'm not
quiet.
trying to imply anything, but here's the thing. There's a reason why I asked him. Free speech, okay. Free speech to do what? Free speech to say what? And I didn't get a response.
I mean, exactly. And these are what these people are. I think that, once again, this was the discussion. I don't see any of these people coming here and wanting to discuss or debate. They don't play these games. He knows that they don't, which I called out. I said that people in the comment section, I've seen you talk to some of these people.
Hey, what are you playing?
I've seen some of my,
what are you playing?
I've seen some of my users. I follow some of these guys. They're not. If they were knowledgeable, first of all, if they were actually knowledgeable about these franchises, they could have quadruple the sub count that they have. They could be making way more if they were actually knowledgeable and actually got fans that played these games. Because fans would be like, oh, snap, they really know what they're talking about. But they don't. Like, I get a lot of people that watch me because of Xenoblade. I've gotten thousands of subs because of Xenoblade. I know Xenoblade. I know it. I know Mass Effect. I don't really talk about Mass Effect as much, but I know Xenoblade. I know Fire Emblem. I've gotten so many subs, Triangle Strategy, my RPGs, whatever, because I'm knowledgeable about those. These people are getting just the fringe outside people that are crazy about this. If they actually drop facts and knowledge about Dragon Quest, imagine how many more subs, or imagine how many more, how more popular they would actually be.
I'll give you a great example on that, by the way. I'll give you a great example on that, guys. Again, knowing your opponent's arguments, or the people knowing the oppositional arguments, are important. And one of the things that I expected to come up and didn't, and that just goes to show you again, I don't think, and again, to be fair, he admitted he didn't know anything about The Witcher. But one of the arguments that comes up with The Witcher is, hey, the books say the lore argument. They point to the books, and maybe I missed it, but the books is probably, the lore consistency is the best argument they had. And again, if you knew that, you would also know that there is a disagreement between the author of the books, who's an old Polish man, old Polish man, and what CD Projekt Red has interpreted the universe as. And the author hates the games, and vice versa. There's kind of a feud there. And so the continuity of the games is not necessarily the same thing as the continuity as the books. But they don't know that either. It didn't even come up.
No, I think the real hard hitting questions he tries to avoid, and like I've always seen him on Twitter like talk crap, and that's why I wanted to come up here earlier so I could like just really catch him, because y'all were like dancing around the points. I'm like, nah, you got to get him. You
What
got
was the
to
point
get
that you're talking? What was the point that we didn't get him on?
just the whole context of like the censorship behind Dragon Quest, the quote unquote censorship, and the
Mhm.
quote unquote the game going woke. All this stuff dates back over a decade ago. But
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
people have this conversation, it's usually like walked over, and then people
Well, and I don't
typically
think
bring up
OJ
that
or I knew
interview.
that. Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah, like,
I knew about that, and
Okay.
I mentioned it later because I saw that TM was, but that was not my main point. I
right.
don't care if somebody wants to mention censorship or that wasn't my main point. It's actually better that they don't know about that. You see what I'm saying? Because that was
Yeah.
my point. My point is that they just talk because they don't play the games. You know about all that, right? You know
Yeah.
about all that. You know about those things. And I mentioned that. I was like, they don't play these games. They don't talk about these games. So they don't really know about it. They just want to talk to make money off of it. And my point was the go woke, go broke thing. That was my point. I wanted to get him on that. Like, I see what you're saying, TM, in terms of,
Right.
they didn't know about the censorship, like that type of stuff. I made a video on
Yeah.
that too. So a lot of people, were unsure about that. But for me, it was, no, this whole go woke, go broke thing is bullshit. And that was the whole reason why this whole thing got even brought up in the first place, was because I said, where are all the grift tubers at with this game talking about it? What happened? Why aren't you guys talking about it? Because usually they say go woke or go broke. This is fresh off of Concord and Dustborn and all the Dragon Age, whatever other game you guys want to say is go woke or go broke. Where are you guys at talking about this? Because y'all were very loud beforehand. So that was my main point. And he had I got him on that because he had no answer. Yes, it would have been great. I see what you're saying. I wish you were in here so you could talk more, because you're definitely more knowledgeable about Dragon Quest than me. But my main thing was getting him on the whole go woke, go broke with Dragon Quest. And he was not able to answer that. He was not able to answer that. He danced around it. He flopped on that whole go woke, go broke. He
That
flip-flopped
looked
and
that looked not great.
Because he's changing his opinion. He's all over the place, and he's saying, okay, well, some games, that's why I said it's situational. And he says, well, that's okay to do that. No, it's not okay to do that. You can't say go woke, go broke sometimes. And if you are going to say that, then make sure you let that be known. And don't bring up, oh, go woke, go broke. Bring up, oh, the game sucks. They don't bring up that when they say Dustborn, or then they mention, oh, it's woke, there's too many woke. They don't mention, dude, the game's not good. They really very rarely mention how good the game is or not, because it doesn't fit.
Well, what's the other one? What was it? The Justice League Kill Justice League game?
Suicide Squad?
That's the other one they love to mention. Another bad game.
Another. I got him on that one. I said, dude, name all the games that are
trash.
Yeah, exactly. I said, name all the games that are woke, that are good, but went broke. And he couldn't name anything. Anytime he tried to name a game, the game was bad. Yeah, that's how Forspoken got brought up. That's how what's it called? Saints Row got brought up. I'm like, dude, that game's not good. It sucks. Oh, well, it's bad because it's woke. I'm like, no, that's not it, because other games are woke and they're not bad. Oh, well, some games can be woke and be good. Okay, so it's situational. Oh, so it's based on whatever you want to move the goalpost wherever you want. If the game is woke but good, okay, no problem. But if the game sucks, it's bad because it's woke. No, yes, it's bad because it's bad. It's bad because the gameplay is bad, not because it's woke or not. You guys have already stated that a game being woke by your stupid terms that you guys dictate what woke is, it can still be a really good game. So maybe it comes down to actually the game itself. And this is the problem. These guys are crazy. These guys are nuts. They are like the worst. Like, developers need to start cutting these guys out. Whenever I said this on my stream the other day, TM, maybe you agree or maybe you disagree. They need to start budgeting and planning to not have any of these weirdos buy their games. Like,
no, I agree with that.
They need to start budgeting
that. Of these grifters, man. Like,
cut out like 2 mil. Whatever you think that you're gonna sell, cut a mil, 1.5 to 2 mil from psychos, and budget and plan accordingly. Because I don't think this is gonna stop. These people just need to let them go be in their Stray Jacket, Concord, Dustborn,
again, this
Echo
is
Chamber.
dust.
You know what I'm saying? Like
cosmic wind, man. They don't understand that we're about to go into another macroeconomic decline. And if the only demographic you're talking to is young adult males, if the only demographic you're talking to is that yam demographic, you're cooked. you're absolutely cooked. This is going to be a fairly bad macroeconomic downturn, and you need a broad appeal. You need it, and we can't let them damage the gaming space. And if this wins, it's going to damage the gaming space. You're going to have
You got to cut them out, bro. Like Nintendo don't even care about these guys.
We're gonna
have
cut
them out.
2010 all over again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have it all over again. We're gonna lose.
You got to cut these guys out. If this leads to them properly planning their budgets better, then that'll be a positive by a negative, and there's something negative, but it ends up being a positive because you're not planning on X, Y, and Z people buying your game. Okay, well, let me do this, let me do that, let me focus on this, let me not do so many cinematics or whatever the case. Let me focus on the gameplay mechanics. Let's focus on this. Let's cut out less of this stuff, these dedicated walking scenes with graphics that are doing crazy, and focus more on this and that. So these people, you gotta cut them out. These people, like even in some of my chat, man, like, oh, I don't play woke games. Bro, what is a woke game? Like, this dude barely had a reason. He couldn't even define what it was half the time. When I asked him, well, what makes
a game to them is a person who's black, or a part of the LGBT community, a woman, all that. But it has to be from 2023 onwards.
Well,
because what I found funny is that he has a problem with Frey, right? He has a problem with Frey because he kept mentioning the socio-political issues of the character and blah blah blah, which are non-existent. Frey is just black. Yeah. She's just a black woman. There's no like sociological issues behind her character. There's none of that.
Okay, so that's a hallucination is noted kind of thing. It's like we're just manufacturing a background for this woman.
But I said that to him too. I was like, dude, no, there isn't. There's nothing with her.
Okay.
Yeah, but you also have a JRPG that came out a year before that, made by Nintendo, that has a black character. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has Tyon. These people were nowhere to be found. They didn't call Xenoblade 3 woke. They didn't say, oh, this game has sociological ideologies and issues behind it because there's a black character. They were non-existent. This stuff didn't happen until 2023 when you have Forspoken come out and all these other games. And
didn't it start with like Goonergate with like the whole Stellar Blade? Like, there's a half a centimeter of crotch that I'm not getting. And
it started a bit before that too. I think Forspoken was part of it, but nobody actually even said what was the issue.
So I have a friend.
The game,
I have a friend who and she's trans, and it's kind of the same thing. It's similar, and I hear these frustrations on that end of things too, which is basically that like some of these more marginalized groups, like they want to shove you out of something, and then when you speak out about being shoved out of something, now you're a bad guy. Now you're woke. And so, like, she's mentioned, it's like, just please tell me what I'm supposed to do besides go die. In terms of when they're passing these laws against us or saying, oh, you don't fit into this game, you can't be in this game. What am I supposed to do? Can you tell me what I'm supposed to do except leave and die? Because apparently I can't speak out about the fact that I'm being pushed out of this. I'm not allowed to speak out.
And the thing for me is that I judge things based off of the game. There might be some stuff that, oh man, they kind of force something in there or not or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's going to be things that you like and don't like about everything, about every game. At the end of the day, it should be about the game itself. A lot of these people, they're not making it about the game. They're making it about X, Y, and Z, all this other stuff.
They're not gamers. Yeah, these are. They're
not gamers. Yeah,
they're politics people who are coming in to wage their particular.
Yeah. And culture. The funniest thing is
what's going on.
These people are like, they'll sit there and say, keep politics out of games. Bro, they are triggered by the littlest. Bro, if you even breathe and they think it has something to do with like these people are the most triggered people ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, their male person is trans, so it's like, oh God, the male's woke now. There's a woman at the DMV. The DMV's woke now. And it's just like we need a trank gun for these people. You need to be tranquilized, and you need to be put somewhere where you can relax and you can fucking recover from this because this is brain rot. Like,
it's brain rot. It's definitely brain rot, and I'm seeing it, but it's not going to stop. That's why I said they need to plan around.
Well, that's why I shut down, OJ. You'll notice there was a moment when he said social justice warriors. my brain just shut off because it's like,
Yeah,
oh my God, we're back in 2014. We're back in fucking
I remember that moment.
God
and
damn it. It's like we have not advanced discourse in a decade now.
No.
I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this. Like I said, you watch that replay, it's not looking good. You know, it's not looking good for him.
No.
It's
I'm surprised he actually showed up. That's what I'm surprised.
No,
about,
props for real.
Yeah, I'm surprised he showed up because
that was
for the
essentially.
past
I tried to
year,
mod, but that was essentially a 2-on-1.
It was, but my favorite. I think my favorite one, which that's why I wish we got Hypnotic on here. But my favorite part was when he said, "I said Grumps should actually go work on his game." And then he goes, "Well, many developers, other developers." And I'm like, dude,
completely reactionary.
I'm like, you're deflecting. I'm not deflecting. I never said that.
Dude mentioned Penny Blood and R Fantasia went up like 2 years ago. He was like, "Oh, these games have been in development for years."
There's a difference between 8 years and 2 years, brother. Like, I love it. He said, "No, I'm not. I want to watch that part back," because he's like, "No, I'm not deflecting." I'm like, "No, you literally just did.
It was knee jerk. It was instantaneous.
It was knee jerk. And then he tried to deny it. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like,
that was just so awful. Like,
it was funny.
And if he really cared about those games, he would have known that Danjin stole like majority of the Kickstarter funds from Penny Blood, and that Penny Blood just released their little like side off one shot game on Steam that's like early access. It's like some roguelike. And then he would have noticed that Arm Fantasia still doesn't have a publisher.
Well, and like OJ said, it hasn't been 8 fucking years with no progress.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Even despite those difficulties.
My issue,
but
my issue is
whatever.
My issue is that the developers aren't on Twitter sitting here complaining, whining, and doing all this other. If they were doing that, then I'd probably be more strict on them. Like, why are you guys on here? Go make your game. You know what I'm saying? Like, go develop your game. Grubs is on Twitter all day, he's sitting there all day on Twitter, not making his game. This game has been 8 years. He's been scamming people for this long. He's got a bunch of people angry, and it looks like trash. He's been there's a whole thread on his lies. There's a whole thing. I didn't bring up on him because I don't want to make it too much about Grummy Grum. But I mean,
Grums.
A couple different things here. Grumps put out a tweet saying, "WoW saved WoW from cancellation, led the team, shipped Diablo 2, StarCraft, created and sold a game company of my own, dismantling woke AAA just by X posting is a hobby, and it's obviously working. Otherwise, you would not be in my feed complaining." So the funniest thing is that
it's more than a hobby, bro. That's much more.
The funniest thing, somebody actually followed up on that and said, "Well, wait a minute." He said, "Here's what I've learned from speaking to 5 employees who worked with Mark either at Blizzard or Red 5. He did not save WoW from being canceled. He was apparently the mostly involved with non-technical work at Blizzard, EULAs, and was erratic and famously difficult to work with. He said that he did not sell Red 5. He was fired as CEO as the game failed because his time was apparently focused on efforts outside of the game, such as esports, video, and a baffling $3 million promotional LAN party bus that did not drive and had to be towed to events." And they have the picture of this on here. I'll drop the link on there too for you guys.
To be fair, those 5 employees, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to be fair to Grumps, but carry on. What am I going to be fair to Grumps for?
He said after Red 5, he was given $1 million to launch a VR game called Voxelnauts. He never produced anything beyond the original trailer and was accused by employees of embezzling money from the company in lieu of paying them for services rendered, and was allegedly ousted again. Mark's current projects, the Ember or whatever it's called, is a spiritual successor to Firefall. He's crowdfunded $600,000 minimum. We don't know the actual numbers, but it's likely more, to create a demo. As of 8 years later, it remains unfinished. He also claimed that he claims he was ousted from Red 5 for refusing to accept woke DEI Chinese money, I guess, in exchange for influence over something. But the only example of Chinese investment of Red 5 happened while he was still CEO. The timelines and the amounts thrown out there don't make sense.
I'm sorry, I'm really confused. Woke DEI Chinese money?
There's so much more. And you know what his response was?
China is not woke. What?
Yeah. You know that's why I said it doesn't add up. You know what his response was to all of that? Here's what his response was. Let me tell you guys his elaborate, drawn out response that was so fully, well done. You know what he said? Keep lying. That's all he said.
Oh, yeah, no, he hates Kate Bush's husband. He hates Kate Bush's husband.
That wasn't even Kate Bush's husband. That was somebody else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was Dr. Louis Liquid on Twitter. That was Dr. Louis Liquid on Twitter.
I'll tell you what I started doing, and it was getting under his skin, actually. But I just gave up because here's the thing. I can't keep up with Grum's tweet level. That guy is on another level as far as how much he tweets, bro. But what I was doing was there's this picture of Grum's. And it's like it's a picture that apparently he thinks is unsightly. I never said it was an ugly, unsightly picture. But every time he would tweet anything, I would just post a picture of Grum's. I would just post it.
Yeah, I did see you do that. A few
people
like that
were
picture
getting mad. Yeah, it blew up mega on one.
Because and the funniest thing is that like this whole link thing, if he actually had anything to back up what he was saying, he would actually put that there. He didn't have anything to say. And this guy, like I said, went out there and interviewed that information that he put out there. I dropped the link in my chat. That's not something you can just make up. You can't make up that information. That information was not public. It was not public, like all out there. That's something that you got to talk to employees about. So the fact, and it's pretty elaborate. I didn't even go over everything. That's just part of it. But this dude's a fraud. This dude is a straight up fraud. He's a straight up fraud, grifting fraud. We all know this. But hey, look, they feel that they need to have guys like this, whether he's this or that. The fact that he's saying what they like, it's like, oh, well, he says what I like. I don't care if he lies about all of this other stuff or all this. He says what I like, so I'm gonna like him and I'm gonna support him. And it's just like
that's the thing. That's the thing, guys. That's the thing. People, are you guys familiar with the concept of an egregore?
No, but it sounds like a villain. No. It sounds like a Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah, egregore. It kind of does. Yeah, but an egregore is a concept where it is a mass social manifestation. Okay, and what that means is like, so it's kind of a spin on spirituality. Like, if enough people believe in something, that something exists and attains actual existence status. Basically, it is a folklorized concept of the ability of humans to mass hallucinate and to make that hallucination a reality. Most corporations are egregores. If you think about a corporation is just an entity on paper. It's literally on paper this construct. It's not fucking real. And it's the same thing, by the way. It's the same thing with somebody like Grums. At this point, I contest that Grums is no longer a person per se. Grums is an egregore. Grums is a mass hallucination of all of the hopes and proclivities of all of these people that support him, and that's what he's doing now. So he's not operating as a person or a human anymore. He's basically operating as a mass hallucination of his supporters.
A caricature or something like that. A caricature.
Yeah, essentially.
What you're saying is Grums is a paradox Pokemon.
Kind of, yes.
That's what you're saying.
Kind of.
Paradox. I mean, listen. Look, at the end of the day, like
I'll be right back, guys. Keep at it.
Okay, no problem. At the end of the day, I don't know, man. I think that, like I said, it was a fun debate. Maybe we can get him back on for the Dragon Quest stuff.
Yeah,
he
been harassing people for like the past year about them not being Dragon Quest fans. Like, I remember he talked to a mutual of mine who put in like thousands of hours in Dragon Quest 10, which is hard to even get into English. And he was like, "Oh, you're not a real Dragon Quest fan. I am." And I'm like, post your like Dragon Quest 11 save file, post an achievement. Like,
yeah,
like say something about Dragon Quest 11. He's like, "Well, I don't have to tell you anything. I'm way older than you. You're only 25. I play more JRPGs than you. You have no idea what you're talking about." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure. I'm gonna let you believe that."
I mean,
you believe that alternative fact.
It's like I said, it felt like I was talking to Twitter.
Yeah, it is.
That's how
somebody from Twitter. So
yeah, but usually when you debate people, they're not like exactly like they are on Twitter. But this dude's exactly like the contradictions, the ignoring of actual facts, the I'm just going to keep saying no, or I'm going to flip-flop back and forth. It's exactly like the Twitter thing that we have. Usually people understand that. And like I said, I think he actually understood what I'm saying, because many times he would agree. Many times he would say, oh, yeah, it's about the gameplay.
He didn't
But
shut
other
us
times
down
it's not about the
entirely.
gameplay. No, but the problem is that if you wait a little bit longer, he'll he reverts right back to factory default.
That's well,
Like,
OJ, that's crystallization. That's a concept that is known from Bernays. He wrote a book called Crystallizing Public Opinion. It's still basically used as like the foundational work of propaganda. And essentially what happens is, like, you can, it explains how you can talk to somebody and you can reach a consensus with them. And then, they'll come back a week later saying the same dumb shit they were saying before. What's happened is they've gone back into their echo chamber and they've recrystallized their opinion, even though you shattered that crystal. They're back.
This dude would factory reset like 3 or 4 minutes later.
That is crystallization. And again,
Yeah.
I have sympathy for that, because that's been done to all of us to some extent. But this was another level.
Yeah, this was pretty crazy, but I don't know, man. I think we ran our course tonight, man. I'm probably gonna call it.
Let's. Do you have time to get to the super chats real quick to see what was said?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll read through those and then we'll call it. And then Tim, we're gonna have to get you on for a Liquored Up Live before I end the show here. Eventually here in the next couple months, we'll have to get you on. We'll have to have a good discussion. I've seen you twittering around. I think you'd be fun to talk to too, man.
Yeah, I'll be down.
So let's take a look.
I'm here for the culture. I love the games, man.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. And see, that's what I enjoy, is people who want to talk about games. But every once in a while we have to do one of these to smash out something like
hey man, I'm glad we got it out there. I'm telling you right now, none of these dudes are gonna come debate. I'll tell you, after watching, if they watch this, they ain't gonna do it. And if they do, good luck.
I know.
So that was the reason why I did it on my channel too. I wanted to have, I was just going to do it on yours, but I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
Well, anybody can hide here. There's going to be like 20 people watching this stuff.
Exactly. Well, I didn't know how many there'd be. I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, listen, this message needs to get out to a lot of people. It needs to get out to everything. So I guarantee you some of these grift people, because I know some of them follow me. Some of them watch my stuff. They just kind of stay their distance. Like, I'll say something, I'll say whatever. They don't respond. This is the first person that actually bit on anything that I've said. You know what I'm like? That's bit this hard on anything that I'm like. I've had people bite, but I've had nobody. This dude literally bit the hell out of it.
I'm surprised he did, because initially when I first approached him, I said, hey, why don't you and I come and have a discussion and a debate? And then you kind of tagged and said, hey, I want to also talk to him. And I'm actually surprised, because, again, to be fair, that was because his bro Hypnotic didn't show up. That was kind of a 2-on-1.
I'm surprised. I'm happy that he did, but at the same time, once again, I don't think these people, they actually want to come here and discuss it, because it would destroy their viewpoints. I don't know how anybody can help them with the go woke, go broke. Like, I don't know how you're going to get out of that one.
Well, not only, I mean, that was bad.
Yeah, it's clear what's going on. Yeah, it's clear what's going on there.
Not to pat ourselves on the back, but I think we make a pretty good debate team, honestly. Like,
I wouldn't mind having him on, or I can do two of them versus one of me if they want to do. I'll do both of them versus me. So
I was going to say, you'd be up for that. Again, to be fair, you'd be up for that as well.
I'd be up for that,
and I would be up for that as well. So if I will throw that out there. Renowned, if you want to bring a buddy on and have this conversation, I owe you that. That's cool. You can 2-on-1 me or 2-on-1 OJ, because that was a 2-on-1. I'm just being real. But again, it could have been a 1-on-1, and it probably would have been the same result. That was not the best.
He deserves that 2-on-1. Sitting here quote tweeting me 15 million times, bro. Get out of here with that trash. You deserve that 2-on-1.
And not only that, but I mean, again, that could have been a 1-on-1. It could have been you, and it could have been me. I don't think that was the best showing. And again, sometimes that happens.
Nothing would have helped that. Nothing would have helped that dude. He's cooked, no matter what.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was pretty fair.
I tried to be as moderator as possible, but again, I have a bias, and he knew that going in. To be fair,
you can't even be a moderator when this dude's saying the dumbest things. How you gonna be this dude's saying the dumbest things, bro? You out here talking about go woke or go broke. This game's bad because it's woke. It's bad because if that's the reason why it's bad, it's because it's woke. Well, then why is this game's also woke? Why is it bad? Well, no. There's exceptions for that. No, that game's. I'm like, dude, you're that's literally fallacy. Like it's literally like you're moving the goalposts. Anything that you feel is woke. Anyway, let's just continue on with the super chats.
Okay,
I already did this a million times.
All right, so super chats. Okay, so we got Chill Collects is first blood. If he's even still fucking here, he's here. Cool. This ought to be interesting, Vincent says, and I'm gonna try because we got a lot of them. I'm just gonna kind of go to the ones that are specific. People can't hear you at first because I'm an idiot. Let's see here. Yeah, that's all right, Zoo. You just need some more GameCube in your life. Yeah, so I'm told. And here's the thing: I'm slowly but surely coming around to GameCube as I actually start to play some of the GameCube titles on the Switch. I contend that the GameCube was an absolute fucking shit failure for Nintendo. But at the same time, Thousand Year Door is great. Metroid Prime is great. I haven't tried Window Washer Mario yet. I'm sure I'll hate it. But again, I won't know till I try it. But Baten Kaidos is really interesting. So again, I'm coming around slowly but surely on the GameCube, guys. So eventually you'll get to quit jabbing me on it. I'll be joining you guys. One of us. Right?
Finally.
So anyway, Vito Libido
flipping the Switch.
Yeah, flipping the game
has come back to GameCube.
Yeah, 100%. So let's see. A lot of greetings here. Let the debate begin. Only played Punch Out on Wii. Love it. Yeah, Punch Out's amazing. He sounds like a robot man. Well, I don't know who one of us three, but I can imagine. Let's see here.
Talking about Renown.
Yeah. Let's see. He sounds like an angry nerd. Vincent says. Let's see here. Don't worry, guys. We'll all drink for you. So Tandalva in here to say, hey, we're gonna drink for you. Vincent, Dragon Quest sales. OJ Hands is up. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Debate battle begins. X is taken seriously. Who's y'all's favorite grift tuber? 90s handheld gamer says. Who is my favorite grift tuber? I don't know. In terms of just lolcow factor, I gotta say a Debian for me. What do you think? What do you think, guys?
I'm gonna go because I used to associate with Smash JT. I think Smash JT is my favorite kind of grip tuber.
Smash JT. Okay, so yeah, the ambulance chaser himself. And how about you, TMO6? Who's your favorite grip tuber?
My favorite grip tuber.
Yeah.
It would probably be Camelot.
Camelot.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Is it the GameStop guy? Is that the GameStop guy that's like a race car driver now? Like he took all of his people's money and bought a race car? You know what? I respect that.
The reason why Smash is my favorite, man, is because he's actually getting sued. So that just
yeah, I don't know if that lawsuit's going to go anywhere. I don't know, because Alyssa Mercante makes me laugh, but at the same time, she can be as odious as a lot of those folks. At the same
exact, but that's the funny thing. It's like it's gotten so serious.
Oh, they're literally exchanging like fucking legal briefs. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like lawyers. I'm like, this is hilarious. None of this is hilarious.
I just got the popcorn. I'm like, yeah, let them fight. Let them fight.
Like I said, I know Smash is actually really smart, and I know what he knows what he knows what he's doing. You know, that's the funniest thing about Smash. He knows he's making bank off of it. It's so funny that he's deceiving these guys. He's totally not even like all that. That's the funniest thing. He's totally if he could just make regular.
Oh, so you're serious? He's not even one of these. Well, of course, the people that are
no, I don't think. I mean, I think that politically he is kind of like that.
He has conservative leaning, sure.
Yes, exactly, which is fine. I don't have a problem.
That's 100% fine. But basically, what he's doing is he's just monetizing that because I figured as such because there was the Gerard the Completionist arc, and before that there was the Amico arc. And then
he leans into whatever can be. Like I said, he's wanted to be a successful YouTuber, like get a lot of views and all that for a very long time. He's tried to do it, and I worked with him beforehand, and that hunger was there, man. He put in so much time and effort, and was never able to materialize. I think that he did now find something that it materialized. He hit that with the most ferocity that I've ever seen.
He's like the anti-Zoo. Like he really thinks this is serious business to him.
I mean, and listen, man, I don't blame. He also lives in San Diego, bro. San Diego expensive. You got to make any extra money that you can. So, yeah, you know. so
100%.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Okay, so we got just working hard or hardly working. Jokes aside, I'm doing fine. Just played a good chunk of Fairy Tale 2, and it's nonstop. It's a nonstop addiction. Yeah, I hear those games are kind of fun. Superpower Man says Renowned is kind of quiet. Yeah, he was a little quiet on the mic, but I'm not going to tell another man how to handle his mic business. So if he wants to be heard, he can turn it up. If not, he can stay quiet. Let's see here. I got to take a look at that. Let's see. Some people exaggerate censorship, like not seeing Rocky's ball sack and Pocky and Rocky reshrined is so silly to be mad about that, but people were mad about that. Oh Lord!
I didn't know people were mad about that.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
That's
okay.
I'm gonna have to go look that up now. I'm not saying you're lying, 90s, but that, wow. Like might be some.
I also want to
shenanigans going on there.
I want to quickly shout out just big love to TM. Thank you for the 2. Juan Murillo, thank you for the $6.99. Minato Mario, thank you for the 3. And Redbeard and Sacha, thank you for the 5. Those were all during the debate. So I just want to thank you guys.
Do you want to read those super chats out real quick?
Oh yeah, I can read them out real quick.
Read
so
them out
TM said, let me cook. So he was able to get in. Dis Birdie became a member. Thank you for becoming a member. Juan Murillo said, this is the same type of guy that says Wukong is game of the year, then go straight to Twitter, then don't play the games, just hype beasts and copy other opinions. Yes, he did the same thing with Forspoken. He just called it woke instantly. Didn't even know why because he just heard it on Twitter. Minato Mario with the $3 says, I feel sorry for this renowned guy trying to defend his favorite grift tuber by pulling fallacies like whataboutisms. LOL, you tried, buddy, but you exposed these grift tubers' hypocrisy. LOL. Yeah, he didn't do them any favors. And then Redbeard and Sasha with the $5 says, I don't play certain woke games because they don't fit my values, but honestly, I get what you guys mean if the game sucks or not. Yeah. Nintendo is a W. Big love to Abaddon with the 10 as well. He says, y'all cooked. So I appreciate that, Abaddon. Thank you. All right, go ahead, man. Shout out. Thank you for the 10, Abaddon. Appreciate you, brother.
All righty. Let's see here. We got trying to finish 1,000-year door. What are you guys playing? So I'm currently playing right now. I'm playing Faith. I'm finishing Faith, the Unholy Trinity, and Morrowind because I'll never escape. What you guys playing?
Playing Neo, Complete Edition.
Okay.
The remastered on the PS5. It is incredible. It's a Souls game, and I don't like Souls games, but I like this Souls game because it's like think Souls like from software, think of like Dark Souls, and then think like Ninja Gaiden.
I hear Neo is incredible.
It's really good.
Okay.
And I hear Neo 2 is like incredible. Like Neo 1's like good, but Neo 2 is like even better, like with the weapons. I'm playing it on PS5. It's 120 frames per second. It's got all it's 120 frames on the PS5. I mean, you can clearly tell it's a PS4 game and it's not open world, but it's smooth. Like, like from software games, they feel laggy. They feel a bit like input delay, which they're supposed to feel that way. Whatever, people say that all the time. Like if you play it on PS5 or whatever, it just feels like it doesn't feel smooth to me.
It's ponderous. The combat's much more ponderous. Yeah.
Yeah, but Neo is like fast, and there's so many different cool types of weapons and the armor and the equipment, and it's fantastic. And it's $20 right now on PS5. I really like it a lot.
Okay. I'm actually see if it's a Steam sale too, because sometimes those are in conjunction.
Yeah, Steam sales. Yeah, Steam sales as well. But yeah, I really like Neo the Complete. You get both games, and the cool thing for them, which I know you'll love this, you get one, like you get like the disc, right? You get the cartridge. There's 2 games in there. They don't just all slam it on one game.
Yep. So it's but you got the whole experience on the card. Yep.
Yeah, you got the whole experience, everything on there, no updates.
Nice. What about you, TM6? What you playing?
I've been trying to finish up Metaphor and RenownedZ3ro.
Metaphor. I was going to mention that. So from what I gather, I've got a friend that's playing through Metaphor, and he's just like, they didn't get far enough into it to know it, but they got the wrong game. If they're looking for the woke game with actual, like, genuine, like, leftist influences, it's this game. They didn't even get they could, but they don't play enough into any game because they don't play video games, so they didn't know it. Right. So it got away. It got away scot-free.
Yeah,
Metaphor is pretty woke.
Yeah, the real woke game just nothing.
The thing about it is though that you actually have to read and like comprehend. That's the problem.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
If you can't read and comprehend, and understand, without having like the big like red trans person say, "Hey, me, I'm trans," without having like the hey, look at this, look at me. Like they need that. They need something.
They've got to have that something to focus on and be mad at.
It's got to be easy. It can't be complex.
You guys bring up a good point because I would say Metaphor isn't Atlas's first like woke game.
No, it's not.
It's the Trauma Center games. Trauma Center on the Wii that features a black doctor, Hispanic nurse, Asian nurse. Like it's
Oh
pure
no!
But
diversity.
they'll tell you that it's not about that. They'll tell you that that's not what woke is, but then they'll also tell you,
Yeah.
well, that's what it's about.
If
They'll
that game was to
indirectly tell you that's
re-release
what it's
today,
about.
if that game was to re-release today, they would call that game woke slop. 100%
Yeah, that's
down.
woke
They would
slop
call
there.
it
It's
woke
like,
slop.
those folks can't be doctors. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, oh, cool. So finally it comes out. I wish it did come out because maybe we'd actually get some honesty out of them. But nah. What
No.
happens is they freeze up and they don't answer the question.
Right. We just seen that tonight.
So let's unbelievable. So 90s is playing Shin Megami Tensei 4. Good game so far. Yeah, thanks for getting him back on topic, OJ. Well, tried, Madsen. Tried being the key word. But let's see. Shin Megami Tensei. This is discussing the game. Halfway through two versions. Let's see. Sold ship doesn't really mean too much in the short term as the publisher gets its money for each unit shipped anyway. That's what I was trying to explain. Yeah. Thank you, Jorge, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Nish Quick saying good evening. Upper Nimbus saying good evening. Vito Libido says shales instead of shills, shales. 90s Handle says I've heard a good amount about how the new Dragon Quest, so it seems like it's done pretty well. Yeah, people are still talking about Dragon Quest. People have been talking about Dragon Quest 3 for 30 years now. So that's what I was trying to explain. In the sales argument, it's doing fine. In the cultural impact aspect, I don't know if there's a more culturally impactful game than Dragon Quest 3 outside of like fucking Ultima, literally. Like Ultima, maybe Ultima. Let's see. We got this convo is great. Let's see. I need your moral support for when I do Nocturne. Nish Quick, you will have it. I will also support you morally. That game, you need to play Nocturne. Nocturne is amazing. If you can beat the Matador, you're going to be fine the rest of the game. Goes to show that Nintendo have been robbed of glorious JRPGs from past Nintendo consoles. Haha. Let's see. I didn't even really know about RPGs growing up besides Pokemon. Saw my cousins dedicate his life to Final Fantasy X, but didn't really play RPGs until the Switch. I've heard that a lot, actually. Let's see. Been changing sides this year, LOL. Zelda and Mario can't hold the console up on their own. Oh, I dare say they can. Guys. Let's see. 2 million is not a flop. Yeah, we tried to explain that. Not for a remake, not for a 2D HD remake that probably costs nothing to make. That's the other side of that. Let's see. What's Renown trying to argue here again? LOL. Don't forget feelings, but the comic book industry is a whole other beast. This is the video game industry. Again, I made that point. Yeah, and you're right, Vincent. Let's see. I don't know, man, but he doesn't seem to have any good points, 90 said. Vadson said he's not showing enough proof about the Dragon Quest numbers, stating a good point. Nish Quick says, I've been out of the comics industry forever now. LOL is more interested in high school. Disparity says, flipping the switch, love that shit. Gooner Gators, LOL. Hey, you name the beast, right? Elemental Hero says, well, they censored the outfits too. Yeah, I know, Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon. I know that I know you're missing that 5 centimeters of flesh. I know. But we all have to make sacrifices sometimes, eh? Let's see here. Hey, hope you're all well. Let's see. Let's see. And then the Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon says, it's more of the lore and story of The Witcher, that The Witcher 4 is maybe trying to hurt the lore. How so? It seems to be entirely consistent to me from the perspective of a gamer. I don't read the Polish books. I don't read those books. Most of them haven't even been translated yet. So so that's the secret elemental. They haven't read the books either. They've heard some old man who wrote the books that are mad about the games. That's what they've heard. Let's see. Grum still develop games. LOL. Love how you're comparing Penny Blood devs and how are you comparing Penny Blood devs and Grums? Nish Quick asks. Yeah, didn't you call that out too, OG? So that was kind of a strange comparison.
I said that was a stupid comparison.
Yeah,
I said one of them's 8 years. They're still developing the game. Once again, I said, you're deflecting. And then I actually went into a long thing about how you're deflecting. Stop deflecting. And then he was like, no, I'm not. He kept on saying, no, I'm not. He's like, I'm like, no, you're deflecting. And
Blah,
I said,
blah, blah, blah. What are you, a fucking acapella group, man?
yeah. And then that's when I was like, listen, if they steal breast milk, and if it's 8 years from now, then I'll definitely call them out. That's when I went into that. I was
you,
like, then I'll
you
definitely
murdered
call them
everybody
out.
with the breast milk, bro. Like,
He didn't know what to say. He was like, well, wait a minute.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I hit him with the breast milk one. I had to get him laughing a little. I had to get him smiling a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of games take multiple years to be finished. 90s makes a point. Yeah, a lot of games take multiple years to be finished. Come back to this guy when those games release, LOL. Also, I got a thief in Dragon Quest 3 and named him Shulk. That's badass, Nishquake. Nishquake, by the way, guys, for those that don't know, Nishquake makes great Xenoblade and Zelda content. He does a whole bunch of other stuff too. Definitely check him out. Cool stuff. Same with Inferno Fox Gaming, Show Collects. All these are YouTube channels. They do great stuff. LOL. So I'm a dork. I just realized this is streaming live both here and on OJ's channel. Exactly. So yeah, watch it. Where I think the chat's a little more active in OJ's, but we're pretty active here too. So yeah, well, you had 2 great options to stream tonight. You might have had 3 because I'm not sure if Renowned also might have simulcasted too. So you might have had 3. You could have gone and hung out over there too if you wanted.
I hope he didn't.
Like,
I hope he did it.
Hope he did. You go hang out with
man, that'll be good. Oh man, because that audience is probably that. He didn't have much answers for things, man.
Hey Nish, that's awesome. Zeus allegedly was so funny. Allegedly. Flipping the switch, the same people. So Memphis Sky, thanks for dropping in. The same people who also cried censorship over the removing of a very revealing swimsuit for Lynn in the US version of Xenoblade X. She is 13 years old. The whole Lynn thing in Xenoblade X, yeah. There's kind of the same thing with like Poppy and the doll in Xenoblade 2. There's some sussy wussy stuff in those games. I'm not gonna lie.
I know everything about that. So essentially, here's the thing with Lynn.
Okay.
And Lynn, Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, Lynn is 16. Obviously, ages and certain things like that in Japan is different from how it is here. So people view things a bit differently with that age somewhere else.
Okay.
Here in America, Lynn is 18. Lynn is 18. I'm pretty sure she's 18 or they aged her up or something like that. But they still decided to remove those outfits because she is very young. And they also decided to remove they got rid of the boob slider, which is not necessarily anything because you're obviously an adult when you play like in your character. But they got rid of that. You just have like a normal, I don't know, it's not small, but it's not big. It's just normal size.
So
it's just kind of like right in the middle.
So that eliminates a little bit of a hang up I have because you see that is a common thing in JRPGs where it's like this super young girl and sometimes she's a 2,000-year-old vampire or some shit. But that makes a little bit more sense. So that is a cultural.
I thought she was 6. I thought she was 16. I thought she was 16. Oh, my bad. He's saying he's 13.
Yeah, but either way, so but what you're saying is that there is a cultural.
Okay, no. She's 13.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's 13.
That's
I don't know.
weird.
Yeah, they did not. Okay, sorry. I completely jacked up my. I am jacking up Tokyo Mirage Sessions where they aged up the people for the censorship in that game. My bad. Yeah, I just mixed my stuff. It is 13.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Not gonna lie. And JRPGs,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a common kind of thing with JRPGs that kind of have those kind of weirder issues around that. But maybe not 13, but some of those age discrepancies, it sounds like, can be explained from a cultural difference.
Yeah, so they removed those weird outfits or those for her. Like you can still do it with the other like the older characters, but for her in particular.
Good. That's what I will say to that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mixed Tokyo Mirage Sessions with this game.
Gotcha. All right, then we got Skylar G says, I expect a game to take 4 to 6 years to release. If I invest in something that takes 8, there's a right to be upset. Yeah, exactly. Because one of the things you should be doing is you should be giving regular updates to your investors, saying, hey, here's the progress report, right? Never heard anyone be accused of stealing breast milk. Haha, 90s handheld gamer said. Well, you just did. And that is apparently that's a real story that happened at a place he worked. And
yeah,
I don't
allegedly.
And I'm not saying he looks like a breast milk thief, but
he kind of He kind of does. If somebody was to steal breast milk and you had a lineup of people, he'd be the first. He'd be the first person I'd pick, bro.
That guy right there. That guy, that balding, weird tooth looser guy. That guy.
Yeah, that guy. That'd be the first dude I would pick. Shout outs to Matt Roadhouse. Thank you for the $2. So didn't stick around for the debate, but I hope my blaster gave you the energy for it. Here's another $2. Yeah, it did.
You didn't miss much.
Oh, yeah.
It
gave me the energy though. It gave me the energy to do what I needed to do. So thank you.
Let's see. Nishquick says the Xenoblade X censorship controversy somehow returned in 2024 with the DE announcement. I could not believe it. There are many other content creators as well. And then let's see. Dragon Quest Veilguard. Dude, this is hilarious. OJ is on point. Inferno Fox Gaming said. Another great YouTube channel. This liquored up live is going to go down in history. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I've enjoyed hanging out. I'm not going to say I haven't, but
it was fun.
Some of that, when I realized when I got put in the time warp and taken back to 2014, I kind of zoned out a little bit, guys. It wasn't my best performance there because I was just done. As soon as I heard social justice warriors, I'm like, oh boy, okay, we're stuck there, aren't we? Rest in peace to Renowned. Rest in pepperoni. Rest in peace. Rest in whatever. Like to Renowned. Upper says. Laughing at that. Got to go now, but I'll be listening to the rest of this tomorrow. Ha. Good to see you again. Maui says interesting. Free speech comes up when talking about the N-word. Yeah, that's always kind of an unfortunate thing. That like again, that it goes to my question, Maui, which is free speech to do and say what, right? Again, there was a big outcry after the racist propaganda movie came out. It was called Birth of a Nation, and there was pushback against that movie. And as a result of that pushback, he distributed pamphlets doing the free speech argument. So again, these tactics don't change. These tactics, if there's one thing that this particular segment doesn't change, it's their tactics. Their tactics are consistent across time. I'll just put it that way. And it's unfortunate. Who is this hypnotic person? Another channel that engages in grifting from time to time, I guess. Who is this guy defending this YouTuber so much? Because it's a senpai, Inferno Fox. Everybody has a senpai. Sorry, I mean, why is Renowned defending this guy so much? Because it's a senpai. What's the channel name? Aren't these just games guys? No, they're serious business apparently. If there's a black woman, or if there's a chin, or if there's a trans person, or like, by the way, I saw the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. There's a Twitter channel literally called Lara Croft's Chin, and it's just a zoom in of Lara's chin from like the PS1 era, and it comments on this stuff, and it's really funny. Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon. But what about the Witcher books? I don't know, Elemental. You tell me about them, since I expect you can read Polish, and then you can tell me all about those books, huh? You can come on and tell me, and you can come on and just tell me just how fucking wrong I am. But hope you can read Polish, buddy. So again, that's not a serious thing. That's just not a serious argument.
I also want to do a $10. Some people heard the message. No, I don't think the grip stuff's going to be like constant going forward. It was just that it was something that was brought up to my attention, and it was too good of an opportunity to miss, to not talk about it, in this situation. But no, it's not going to be like a constant thing. Concern Ninja, thank you for the double donos.
Let's see here. We've got why is this guy falling so hard on a Witcher sword when he's never played an actual game? That is a good question, since he said he doesn't discuss those things, and probably shouldn't have. This guy is asleep, not woke, Vito Libido says. Melphis Sky, the original Final Fantasy VII, had stuff in it that would be considered woke today. On the main villains in it, it was they were capitalist corporation, and the heroes were eco-terrorists. This Quick Pop says, yeah, that's true, actually. Again, a game that is genuinely could be considered quote-unquote woke. But again, I don't necessarily think when they say woke, I don't think it's that deep, Melphis. I don't think it means leftist, or I don't think it means like left-leaning. I think it means some other things, which we kind of touched on.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. He says that, oh yeah, I can already tell the Renowned is going to flex on Twitter that he roasted you, OJ, but deep down inside he's embarrassed. I don't think he's going to flex that he roasted me on Twitter. I don't know what clips he's going to. Yeah, I doubt he's going to pull up any clips that do that. Another Concerned Ninja, he did another $10 dono. And yeah, man, it's not going to be a thing, going forward. I mean, we talk about games, like we're always going to talk about games normal. Like I said, it was too good of an a thing to pass up in terms of discussing it. But no, it's not going to be like we're going to be having debates all day.
This is
on
not
this and
typical for
that.
either
Yeah.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a typical thing. Like I said, we ran into it on Twitter. He agreed to come on. It's a special little thing, something different to kind of have a little bit of content where people don't always agree on everything, where it's not always just like, hey, these people agree on this or that, to bring in some different perspectives. We heard his perspective. His perspective was nonsense. It was trash, like we all thought it was going to be. Or, I don't know how many good points he made or if he made any good points. I'm not sure if he did. I'd have to go back and look, but there wasn't really much there. But I think at the end of the day, one thing that I feel that is very important to talk about is we saw what that side is about, right? Like, I don't really need to do anything else. We saw what happened right there, Concerned Ninja. We saw what happened with that. We saw the situation. We saw the problem. And at the end of the day, you look and you see what happened in that discussion. And right now, we can just write it all off. We can write all that off. I don't have anything to say. That's why I said, I think there was a couple times I said, I don't have anything else to say to you. Like you're ridiculous. This is a ridiculous thing. I have no more to say to you. Overall, at one point I said, this is done. And that's really where it comes down to. I'm not really going to be discussing anything else. And I doubt that any of these other GriftTubers are going to discuss stuff with me. So I highly doubt it, unless it's like I said. And if we do, I'll probably just do it only on FlippingTheS'Wit's channel. But this one I wanted in particular because I knew he would bring up those other people. And we crushed a lot of their viewpoints in the first place. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to get back to just games. This was one of the things to do to crush these stupid viewpoints, these dumb things that these people bring up. I think we crushed them, and I think we crushed them pretty bad, that it wasn't about the actual games, that it was about the character. It was about the color and all that. I think we proved that. The Forspoken thing was enough to prove that. So there's really nothing else to say. That segment is really bad. If I clip that and posted it on Twitter, that's really, really bad for him and those people that are in that. They would not respond to that segment. They would not respond to that segment,
Gotta understand, guys, and I get it. We all want to get back, like you said, to playing. We all want to get back to gaming and playing. But you got to understand, at times, you got to stand your ground because, okay, most of us don't give a shit about politics. I don't care about politics, but guess what? Politics cares about you. And as you have seen, they're going to keep coming and they're going to keep grabbing more and more space unless you actually stand up.
Yeah, you got to at least, you got to plant your flag at least once. You know what I'm saying? And you got to plant it. And that for me, I've never discussed this in depth with anybody on the opposing side because none of them ever want to. I've taken many shots. Yeah, I've taken many shots at them and they will on here and on other places and they don't want to. And that's fine. They don't have to. I'm not looking for. But this was, whenever there's anything referenced, I can say, look at this. I'm going to clip the hell out of this. I'm going to say, look at this. Look at this. This is what they say. This is what they do. This dude couldn't even explain it. So like I said, we just plant our flag. We know where it is. It's over with. I'm not going to be really addressing it. And we're going to get back, obviously, to talk about games. I actually got a bunch of cool stuff lined up. For example, The Legend of Heroes, the first remake that got confirmed for Switch, PlayStation, or it was PlayStation 5 and PC. And it looks great. So we're going to get back to that. I've got some stuff that we're going to do tomorrow.
That is the most underrated JRPG franchise ever. It really is good.
It's so good. And I cannot wait to play this remake. So don't worry. Concerned Ninja, we are going to 100% get back to that.
Well, that'll make another fellow creator I just talked to, Orbology, very happy. She is a Trails evangelist, OJ. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to I've seen her vids.
I know about her. Yeah. You
guys have to get together and talk. She's good people.
Yeah.
So let's see. This quick says still at it. And boy, that was 9:48, baby. Let's see. Social identity meaning African American, Vito Libido says. You hate to see it, but
you hate to see it.
Let's see. Melfi Sky says never played it. Good episode. Show Collect says thank you, buddy. Glad you enjoyed it. Yes, bring him in. People talking about TMO6. We did finally get him in, but I had to read a freaking tutorial to make the Discord. And you might have seen me. Like if you watched the video, like on my end, you would actually see the Liquored Up Live be like playing with it, trying to figure out how to bring him in throughout the night. Like, let's see, great debate, but let's wrap this up, guys. And that was about 10:10. Yeah, we hear you. We will try.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, this was wrap it up, Bob. Yep. Get that
Wrap it up.
Yeah. GF Keeley comes in. GF Keeley breaks in like a Kool-Aid guy with some fucking Doritos and some Mountain Dew and a wrap it up sign. Like, let's see here. This
Wrap
was
it
fun,
up.
but a circle. Most debates tend to be circular. They don't tend to go anywhere. And that's all it is. It's always a circle jerk. It's a grift, and they know it. Disparity says. Everybody's saying, "Oh, TM06, no, let him stay on. He's the hangover." Rush Dog comes in. He's in here. Go bad, go broke is a strong argument. Unfortunately, it doesn't rhyme. So like bad games, yeah, go bad, go broke. Damn, son, we're still going. I feel like I missed out on some good stuff. Sorta. Our arguments were good.
When we weren't talking in circles, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. TJ, hey Nimbus. Let's see. You did great, dude. Avidian Smith said. Upper Nimbus says GameCube for live. Vito Labito flipping the switch thinks comments or super chats. Well, yeah, all comments are super chats. I don't fucking monetize, Vito. Like, yeah, I'll read your chat. Like, I don't monetize. So, and by the way, that's why you should also go to PlayerEssence. PlayerEssence will also read chats. We read chats all day long that aren't monetized. Good dude.
Yeah.
So let's see, Vincent. Great stream today. Great stream. See you on the next one. Vincent says it's good that Nintendo avoided this, and we got to thank you, Iwata. Yeah, Nintendo called out that gaming's customer to revenue trajectory was screwed, and they called that out back in 2005. Iwata called that out. He gave the games industry a proposition to correctly move forward, and they rejected it. And
Pretty hardcore.
And they finally moved. They finally came to their senses. That's what I'm trying to explain to Renowned. What's happening here is the industry has caught up to Nintendo and said, "Yeah, we have to go after the expanded audience." And I know that may appear as woke to people who have always been represented in games. That's the thing. Like it looks like an invasion when it's always been about you, and now other people are coming in. But it's not.
Big love as well to George FT with the $10. The term woke is most overused, charged word in modern language. Yeah. And Concerned Ninja as well. Thank you for the $10. And it did read off his message. He's saying like, hey, much love, but he wants to use this place as a way to escape from that. But yeah, it's hard when people are encroaching upon your own space, which I've even heard it a million times here in our own chat. And I know that there was some people, I guess, arguing in the chat. I didn't see too much people arguing back and forth in the chat. And I don't want a great ninja war, but I don't think this is going to be a great ninja war. I don't think that this was going to cause that. I think that people were being, at least respectful towards each other. I didn't see anybody get banned or anything. So I think it's going to be okay. And at the end of the day, we kept it about the games. I think at the end of the day, we really kept it about the games. Like we kept it about, no, this game is bad because of this. This game is good because of this. It's about the actual game. He tried to say that it was, and sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it's okay to have those elements. It's still good. Oh, but other times, no, this game is bad. He flips, flops, and whataboutisms and all sorts of fallacies and nonsense, So I'm glad that we were able to say this is about the game. So if you take anything away from this, even if, like I said, it's kind of veering into something that you don't like, is that we tried to keep it about the games. And that's how it's going to stay. It's going to stay about that,
Exactly. PlayerEssence, right? Flipping the switch. Well, video game content. But again, every once in a while, you got to stand your ground. So let's see here.
For victory.
Grifter are feral hog in gaming video. Nintendo figured this out and started catering to casual gamers without harming their identity. And this is one of the biggest reasons why hardcore gamers and especially PC users hate Nintendo. Yeah, I definitely think there's some of that. The overall larger games industry has kind of had a grudge against Nintendo. I mean, you can go back to EA when Trip Hawkins literally was forced by his own board of directors to either make games for the NES or we'll fire you and put someone in there that will. So yeah, I think there's a long history of anti-Nintendo sentiment in the larger industry. But here's the thing, Lek, at the end of the day, business is business. And when you are as dominant as the Switch is, they have to come to the table. They have to. So they can do it begrudgingly, but we'll drag them there if we have to. Lex says, I hate Grums. He is evil. Well, I don't ascribe any morality to it. If you want to say he's evil, I'm not going to disagree with that. He's certainly damaging, and that's bad enough. And then finally, Upper Nimbus says, Zoo, we got to still do that Xenoblade Part 2 with Niche. With this one, once you're done with Xenoblade 3 and Future Redeemed, we will absolutely do that. And even if the channel at that point is a museum and there's no new content on it, you have the Discord. You're in the bar. You know how to summon me. I'm a ghost. Just do the summon. Just say the spell. I'll pop in and we'll do it, man. I think that's it then. So OJTM06, did you have any questions for me or each other?
No, I'm good, man.
No.
Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Thanks for simulcasting with me. I think that's a channel first. So, And then at Flipping the Switch, Neil Blitz the Frog says, great debate, very nicely done. Well, yeah, I'm glad people got something out of it. And again, I do think that there were some important things brought up. And again, I just also want to thank, he's not here anymore, but I want to thank RenownedZ3ro for coming on, despite the differences that he had with me and OJ and TM06. He did come on. And so there's something to be said for that. And I do, as is the policy, I do now owe RenownedZ3ro a one-on-one where we talk about actual video games. So like Castlevania, I think we want to touch on, etc. So
I do want to mention for anybody before we go, for anybody that has not seen the clip of Stone Cold beating up Booker T in a grocery store, watch that. That is one of the funniest wrestling clips of all time.
Oh gosh, OJ, we're gonna have to talk pro wrestling sometime because there's a guy named Super.
I'm not good with I only know classic pro. I only know like Attitude Era and like.
Well, there's a channel, Super iPads Wolf, that will make you care about wrestling. I didn't care about wrestling either.
Honestly, I don't care about modern wrestling.
Well, I didn't either. But then I watched the Unreality of Pro Wrestling, the Roman Reigns video. And Super iPad like forced me to care about wrestling with his.
I don't think I've tried. I was subscribed to wrestling channels and they talk about modern wrestling. I only get excited when they talk about like old school, like Stone Cold.
And he does that. And again, Stone Cold is full of classics. There's another one, OJ, you'll have to look up where Vince McMahon is in like a hospital bed. And all of a sudden, there's a doctor, and it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he hits him over the head with the bedpan.
No, I watched that. I actually watched that when it happened. Like, when it was airing. Like, I watched all these things. You know what the funniest thing is? That show that happened that I'm telling you guys about. I was in the live audience for the Booker T beating up Stone Cold beating up Booker T. I was in the audience for that show. Which was great. There were so many. 2001.
There were so many good feuds in that era, man. There were so many good feuds.
It was so good.
Anything with Stone Cold or Booker T, both extremely I wouldn't call them underrated. They're legends now, but at the time they were just great stuff. Or the Vince McMahon like is the head of the New Order. Like, it was me, Austin. It was me all along. And it's like, it made no fucking sense. It was just this moment.
Wait, yo, TM, are you sure about that? All platforms, TM?
Yeah, that's all platforms.
What are you talking about? It's not all platforms, brother.
Yeah, it is. PlayStation, Switch, PC. Those are all Xboxes.
You forgetting something?
Those are all Xboxes.
Oh, they're all Xboxes now.
Yeah, don't you know? This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. Hey, This is also an Xbox.
That's true. Okay. Because I responded to you. I said all platforms. LOL. I put all platforms. Okay. You're right though. You're right.
Yeah, man. They are all platforms.
I'm definitely picking up the PS5 version. I usually get PS5 and Switch, but I'm definitely gonna pick up the PS5 version.
This one Switch 2, I might just have to cave in and buy it on there.
It's fall 2025, so there's a good chance that it will be on Switch 2, but we'll see.
Well, man, thanks for coming on.
If it's Switch 2, I'll buy it on there. Yeah, if it's Switch 2, I'll buy it on there. But if not, then PS5 for me.
Yeah, I don't want to take any more of you guys' time. We'll go ahead and wrap the stream up. Thank you, everybody, for coming out, whether you were on OJ's channel, whether you came on mine, if you were on Renowned's as well. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you got something out of it. I love you guys, but if you guys want to stay on for a couple minutes real quick just for a denouement, we're going to end the stream. But love y'all. Get the heck out of here.